Howdy. Welcome back to MCubed and Cinema Scoop, your favorite cinema news for Wednesdays, of course. We've got 2 Mount Rushmores to begin the day, and then we might jump into some Avatar talk before we've got a lot of bullet points to cover. There's a bunch of good little film news coming out. Not like film bullet points that we got to like super delve into, but enough things that we got to at least have some discussion about, you know?
We can inappropriately touch many subjects.
These things happen. They do happen. But howdy, everybody. Sarah, if you're here, go Twitter. That's the best place to do it, if so. Haven't watched any Avatar. All right. Sokar has also not seen the Nickelodeon cartoon, but he saw Legend of Korra, which you thought was brilliant. I think I just accidentally kicked my cat. Don't stand under my feet. Oh no. But I don't meet very many people that watch Korra and not Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's just an interesting thing because most Avatar people aren't the biggest fans of Korra. I'm one that is, but it's because Avatar's it holds a special spot in a lot of people's hearts, But I like that you're enjoying the actual Netflix version. That's an interesting order of operations to go on, But I'm your Huckleberry. I'm gonna have to start saying that a little more often. Howdy, David. So let's jump into it. So we've got 2 Rushmores for today. I think the way we're gonna do Rushmores kind of from here on out, we're gonna do 2 of them. One that is individually based. We both kind of come up with our own, and then one that is a conjoined and agreed upon Rushmore. And the agreed upon Rushmore is going to be the best adapted characters from the cartoon to the actual show. But we're going to start with individual Rushmores, and that's going to be our favorite secondary characters of Avatar, the cartoon. Howdy, Melvin. What's happening? Send it on Facebook. Okay, booyah.
Melvin.
Right after Rushmores, I'll check. So I'm not just conjoined all over the place, But yeah, well, secondary character wise, who are you thinking? So that's going to exclude, I think, Team Avatar throughout the series. So no Toph, Aang, Katara, Zuko, or
I like Zuko.
I love Zuko too, but and no Iroh, because Iroh's definitely a main character nonetheless. He might not be quote unquote Team Avatar all the time, but he's totally a main character. So I think past that, you could have your Boomies, you could have your Ty Lees, your Mays, you could have Suki, you could have Katara and Sokka's father. I forgot his name. It's not Arknife. I think that's a Korra name. Anyway, any of those characters.
Which one? I like to make inappropriate jokes about her name.
Yeah.
Suki $5, that type of thing. I'm allowed to do that.
Well, Suki's on my Mount Rushmore one way or another, so Suki's up there for me.
Sexist.
Suki's great. Suki helps Sokka not be sexist, which is cool. Not in the show, though. Not in the live-action show. In the cartoon. That's an interesting thing. We'll get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of Avatar in a little bit. So, good afternoon, gentlemen. Last night we enjoyed Twin Peaks Season 3, Episode 5, Star Trek Discovery, last episode of Season 3, and first episode of Season 4. Attaway, y'all are getting it.
Oh, Mark, you had to watch Discovery. Poor thing, what have you done wrong? What did you do?
Your wife put you in timeout, made you watch it?
Yeah. You will watch Discovery, and you know why too, don't you? Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's fine, honey.
Emotional torture.
Besides Suki, I'm gonna put. I don't know. Aang and Momo, are they secondary characters or they're Team Avatar? We can't put the leader and the
main character. So.
Not Aang. I meant to say Appa. My bad. Appa and Momo, I think they count as Team Avatar.
Yeah,
even though they're kind of secondary. So we're sticking to people, I guess, or maybe spirit characters or something like that. Because if I go spirit characters, I'm going.
You got to remember, I haven't watched the cartoon in about 20 years. So
20 years. It did come out.
No, I watched it when it came out.
19 years ago now. That's weird.
I'm so old. So yeah, I don't remember it as well as you do.
I'm on my yearly rewatch right now.
I'd go with the Fire Lord.
Was I?
Because he was evil. Wasn't he voiced by Mark Hamill at one point?
He was.
in
He
something?
was. Uh-huh.
So anything voiced by Mark Hamill has got
Fantastic.
to be on your Mount Rushmore. So I would have the Fire Lord. And he's got a cool name. I mean, if you're going to call yourself Fire Lord, come on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think Ozai's on mine as well. I put Ozai. Howdy, Peter. I'd put Ozai. I'd put Suki.
Mm.
I would also put I put Roku. I think Roku is very pivotal, and I don't necessarily love the way Avatar, the Netflix version, has done the past lives for avatars so far. But I love Roku in the cartoon. A fourth one.
I loved Admiral Zhao. I'm going to put him in my other one, but I didn't know it was Jason Isaacs doing the voice. I've just
Oh yeah, I don't. We'll get into the live action stuff later. Anyway, I got thoughts on just about everything.
No, we'll get into that next. But and Clancy Brown did Lord Feng. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Clancy Brown's all over the place.
He's going to be a villain. I might put Lord Feng on just because I love Clancy Brown and his voice, and I can't believe I didn't twig it was him.
George Takei is a villain at one point too. Do you remember in the cartoon when Katara, it's like the very first season, they didn't do it in this show. They have her go to a prison boat that she has to break and kind of like convince Earthbenders to go fight for themselves again. And George Takei is the villain that runs that little of a boat. It's just they have such great one-off villains. I love it. He's also Mr. Krabs. Yes, he is. And the Kurgan. Mr. Frickin' Clancy Brown.
Mom! It's my favorite line. Clancy Brown is awesome. So, yeah.
First two episodes of Shogun were pretty damn good. Good. I want to watch it later today.
Yeah. Long Fang is definitely on my list. So, I got Long Fang. I'm going to have Admiral Zhao. I'm going to go Suki because, and Fire Lord Ozai.
Okay.
I'm going to go. Just because.
I like it.
Come on, Mark Hamill, all day.
I think my number 4, I'm going to go Suki, and then the rest are all firebenders, which is kind of crazy. I think just the firebenders, they have such great little one-off, little evilly things. I wanted to put Azula, but she kind of is in between main character and secondary character. So I'm going to go with Ozai, Roku, Suki, and Sparky Boom Boom. Because that's just the coolest.
Sparky Boom Boom.
Do you remember the guy in the 3rd season that's like the bounty hunter that Ozai sends after all the kids?
Yeah.
He got the big old Cyclops eye that he shoots mind pulses at. It's so cool.
No, it is. Yeah, okay.
Not sci-fi. I need to catch up on Masters of the Air. I haven't been watching it. I keep asking people how good it is, and I keep saying, like, I'm going to watch it. And then I realized to catch up, I'm going to have to sit down for like 4 to 6 hours. And I'm just like, I could spread that out throughout the week or just wait till it's bingeable. So I don't know. Like Duncan MacLeod TV series and not a reboot of the film The Highlander. Interesting.
It's got to be. Yeah, that makes 100% sense. And I've said this from day one when this got announced. They will not make the same mistake they made with the movie. Because by saying there can be only one, and then at the end of the movie there is only one, you've got nowhere to go. So yeah, 100% it'll be more like the TV series in that there'll be lots and lots of highlight, lots and lots of immortals running around, and we'll see that progression towards.
I like it. Yeah. I like the idea. Just
if nothing else, there'll be a trilogy idea or something like that. They will not be only one at the end. They're not going to do that again. Do
you think they're going to plan out for a TV show? Because I don't know.
I don't think it'll be with Henry Cavill, but I think it'll depend if it's popular. Yeah, if the movie does well, they'll do something with it. But I don't think it'll be. From do you know when you know something, I've got to be so careful what I talk about. I don't think they're thinking about more than just this initial movie at the moment.
That's kind of reassuring in a way.
And I know Henry Cavill is about to announce something big, and which we already know about, but it's finally going to get going. So he'll be busy with doing other things. I can't say more.
Warhammer and the likes, I guess. Has anyone seen Constellation? No, Melvin and I have talked about it, but I have not. I would like to.
Apparently, it's boring as shit.
Really?
It's really, really boring, apparently. But I'll give it a go at some point. I'm just loving Avatar at the moment. It's every free time I get now, I'm watching Avatar.
Hey, Warhammer. Loved the show and the backstory much better than the film. For Highlander, okay. I never saw the Highlander show. I've only ever seen the first Highlander movie. That's it.
Okay. Warhammer is basically going to get a big announcement in the next couple of months.
Started watching it, gave about 10 minutes. Which thing? Highlander the show or Avatar?
I think it means Constellation.
Or Constellation. Okay.
I suspect.
Well, while we're figuring out our Rushmore, shall we agree upon the best adapted characters?
This is hard, right? Because the thing I love so much about this show is they have cast it really, really well. I mean, really well.
Yeah. Looks for damn sure.
They're all, yeah. I mean, they've got Ahsoka. I didn't like him at first.
Sokka,
yeah. I thought he's an irritating turd. But then by the third episode, I was like, I really like this guy. It's really funny, and I just thought he really grew on me. The only character I think there's a bit of a nothing character is maybe Katara.
Yep, Katara. I'll just get into my thoughts on that just a tad bit. She's the bastardized version of the character from the cartoon, and has absolutely none of the attributes of the character from the cartoon. She's half the human being she was in the cartoon, and it's sad because she's so good.
If she wasn't there, you wouldn't notice.
No, which sucks because she's supposed to be the motherly figure for all of them. But anyway, we'll get into that in a second. Figuring out the Rushmores. I'm with you on Sokka, though. I think Sokka is very well adapted. He feels like he fits in this world, but he also would fit in the cartoon still, which is nice.
Yeah, and they've developed the character really well. Up until, obviously, you get that 2 episodes he's basically not in, but because he's asleep. But other than that, they developed his character really well, particularly in the 2nd episode when they go to that island full of women. Yeah, and I don't know. Well, yeah. Oh, she's so pretty, so pretty.
First crushes as a child and still crushing on her today. 20 years.
Oh God. Yeah. The Avatar Kyoshi as well. Oh my God, the actress they got for that was with the makeup and everything. Oh my Lord. I've just seen the real actress. Pretty. But yeah, for me, number one. Actually, Paul Sun Hyung Lee with Iroh.
He's got to be there. He's different enough for this, but he's still it's the perfect adaptation to live action in a lot of ways.
He's making the relationship between him and Zuko is the most interesting thing in this series, I think.
What about Zuko? Would you put him
on the roster? I actually really like the character. He's, don't get me wrong, I want to bitch slap him. It's just but that's the point of the character, isn't it? He's supposed to be, trying to find his way. But the actor looks great.
Yeah, I would put him up there. Would you agree that he deserves a spot on that Rushmore of that? I can't say the word.
I'm not sure he'll quite make it for me. Let me just do my numbers. Because the guy they got playing Aang,
Gordon Cormier, I think he needs to be up there. He fits the character very well.
Hated him in the first episode. I thought, I don't get this. But by the 3rd episode, I'm like, nah, I get it. This guy's great. In the first episode, maybe 2 episodes, I'm thinking the acting's a bit wooden. This isn't great. And I don't know if that was well, maybe it was all right, but maybe it was also that it just took him a little bit to get into it. Maybe
that too.
But by the 3rd episode, I'm like, nah, this is great. They're absolutely nailing this. And yeah, so Aang, Gordon Cormier, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ian Osley for Sokka.
Yeah. Aang and Sokka and Iroh.
Right? Iroh is just amazing.
Who's our final? Is it Zuko?
I'm just having a look. Because
honestly, Ozai, we haven't seen much from him, and he's not necessarily in the cartoon this early on, but Daniel Day Kim as Ozai is pretty freaking spot on too.
I didn't realize they got George Takei to do a voice in the series as well.
Really?
He's the face of something. What's that? Is that the villain from episode 6?
Is that Ko the Face Stealer? Is he Ko the Face Stealer?
It looks like. I didn't know that. I didn't realize.
I didn't realize it either. I would have thought
he's Ko the Face Stealer. Yeah.
No way. Ooh. And have you gotten to the My Cabbages guy yet? Because they did get the actual guy to come back. So technically, he's very well adapted.
I didn't get that scene. I had to Google it. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I've got Aang definitely, Sokka definitely, Ira definitely. Oh, Fire Lord Ozai though, the Daniel Day Kim is amazing. He is cool.
Zuko was almost just like somebody would be like, oh yeah, he needs to be up there. But then I start thinking about Daniel Day Kim and like, well.
Yeah, he's very cool. Oh, the guy we mentioned earlier, actually, he becomes the admiral.
Oh, sorry, hell no. That's not even anywhere close to the character.
No, I love the actor.
I do too. I like the actor a lot. He thought he was auditioning for Blue People Avatar when he auditioned.
I know, but the reason why he would go on mine is simply because I think he adds to the character. I don't really remember him from the cartoon at all, but he's memorable in this.
I would argue the exact opposite, and that's just because I'm really familiar with the cartoon as well.
You're more familiar with the cartoon than me,
because he's not the same character.
No, he's not. But that's why I would put him on. We're talking about adapted sort of thing. I think they've changed him and they've adapted him, and I think they've made him better. Just my opinion, but I think he's really, really memorable in this, and I think it just fits. I think it really works. And again, you love to hate him when he thinks he's won. That the episode where he's got the thing and he does the big speech and everything. I just thought that this is good. This is really good.
He works well for what they have on screen, but that is I have an issue both with how the character is portrayed on screen and how they've changed the storyline to form fit this.
Yeah, but you're connecting it and you're being obsessed with the cartoon.
Well, they made it for a reason.
You've got to separate the two, mate. They're different.
No, I think that's a cop-out when it comes to adaptations, because then the people that are making the adaptation just go make your own damn show. You don't have, you're following something because you love it and because you want to adapt that and be true to that. Same with Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, whatever it may be. I think it's people are always like, you got to truly separate.
It depends what you're doing. Right. This is a bit different to like Harry Potter, because Harry Potter is a book and you got a film, and then people moan, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do it. Yeah, but you can't. Books and films are different. They work differently. The structure's different. You need to adapt it, and it needs to change.
It could be adapted easier.
Well, the other problem is the order that, well, Harry Potter's that thick, and Order of the Phoenix is that thick, or the Chamber of Secrets, is that, and so you've also got that issue.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing 4 films, you can't do Order of the Phoenix. You just can't. But this is a cartoon that didn't even run that long, did it? The original?
3 years, 2005 to 8.
Yeah. So you got 3 seasons for cartoon. They could have done something. I think they've jumped. It was the Captain America storyline where Aang got frozen for 100 years. Was that in the cartoon?
Yeah. That's how it opens.
So again, I don't remember it, so I don't remember the cartoon very well. I remember loving it, but I don't remember.
I think the best addition to the show, though, was probably them adding that first 20 minutes of 100 years ago with Aang. It was iffy, and I think I'm with you that like the acting was a little different, but it was kind of like, all right, well, I got to be 100 years ago in a whole different time span. Kind of like the world's very different, much happier, much more vibrant, yada yada. And then you get to the dull kind of the landscape of the modern era. Good dichotomy with it, but interesting to like jump into it. I really liked that they included that though. So who's our final person on this Rushmore here?
I'm gonna have Commander Zhao, just because I thought he was great.
Well, we got to agreed upon Rushmore.
You don't have to agree. We can.
Yeah, we do, because this is the agreed upon one. We did the individuals first.
Crap. Not him, not Jet. I hated that guy. Fire Lord Ozai is good.
Let's do Ozai. I'm in.
Good.
So our agreed upon one is Ozai, Iroh, Sokka, and Aang.
Yeah. Iroh though he's the George Washington for me. He's great. He carries certain elements of that show.
Yeah, no, I agree. Paul Sung, is it Paul Sung Hyung? I never remember his name right.
Paul Sung Hyung Lee.
Paul Sung Hyung Lee. Okay.
The girl I got playing Azula, she's another one that is no interest to me at all. She could be not there and it wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
I don't like to be like rude to actors or anything like that because everybody's doing their own take on these things, and the directors and the filmmakers and the showrunners in this case, they chose her for a reason. But please recast her. Like, this is not Azula, and she sucks. Like, oh, it hurts me so bad. Her and May.
It doesn't quite work for me. But I think it's maybe because they've made they're both so young, aren't they? And the characters in the cartoons they were so young, because they've sort of respected that, and maybe that's the problem. It's hard to. I just don't think that it's not quite cast right. Maybe. I can't quite put my finger on what it is that I don't. It's not that I don't like her. I just don't think you'd notice if she wasn't there. But maybe that's because she hasn't come into it yet.
Yeah, she's not supposed to be in season 1 at all. This is a pure live action thing. In the cartoon, she's not in season 1 besides the flashback when Zuko gets his face burned.
Okay.
I downloaded the cartoon Avatar. My daughter watched it without me. I just caught the odd episode here and there last week. Bloody half terms. She binged 3 seasons. It's literally it's worth the binge. It's so good. It's so good. Which we'll get into why. Well, we can get into it right now in a second here. Shit Farmer says, "What's happening? What's up, man?"
Yeah, man.
The name always.
Have you seen this? That the head of Netflix Films being replaced. It's just breaking news.
That's not David Bailey.
Scott Stube is going, and Dan Lin is taking over. Dan Lin's I know he's a producer, but I can't think what he's done.
He did Fast and Furious, I think, at one point.
Okay.
I think no, that's Justin Lin. Excuse me. Justin Lin directed a lot of the Fast and Furious as well. She was supposed to watch it with me. She'll watch it with you again. Don't worry.
He's the executive producer for Last Airbender. So that's one thing he's been doing with him.
Oh. The point of the animation having 3 seasons was to learn each bending technique, which they yes. Well, okay. Yeah. Well, real quick, we have one quick point to make before we jump into it. Neither of us have seen it yet, but every freaking streaming service right now, and not just right now, but since Game of Thrones left TV, has been trying to be Game of Thrones. Hit that Game of Thrones spot. Try to fill in that quote unquote void that people wanted after Game of Thrones, which I don't necessarily think is even a real thing. But everybody that is a studio head wants that Game of Thrones money, and they want that Game of Thrones audience, which can you blame them? But at the same time, Game of Thrones wasn't focused on being the next Game of Thrones, so they just were good until they weren't. But
the problem is they set a very high bar.
Last 2 seasons. Well, once they ran out of material to adapt, and it became all right. Well, we're telling our own story. Dan and Dave, as great as showrunners as they can be, they dropped the ball a little bit in those last couple seasons there. But all that being said, all these different streaming services have been trying. Netflix, they're trying their hand right now with Avatar. They tried with The Witcher before that, and probably a couple other things. Amazon Prime tried with Wheel of Time, tried with Lord of the Rings. There's been a couple of other ones. Disney's kind of vying for that with some Percy Jackson and stuff. But what Disney is, I think, really doing right here is utilizing 20th Century Fox, the company they bought.
Yeah.
And Shogun has been claimed by many people to be that Game of Thrones replacement, that true like historical fiction that was really just something that we didn't know we needed, but damn, we're happy we do need it though. And I'm really excited to watch it. I think it'll be cool. I like that it's in feudal. I don't know if it's Edo era Japan, but I know it's feudal Japan back in the day. I like the Hiryoku's Sonata. There's so many names, and I get them mixed up too often. Love the main guy. I am a little worried because we did talk Legacy, Monarch Legacy. And you remember, I wasn't the biggest fan of the acting of the main girl. And she's one of the main characters in Shogun as well. So that's my only hesitancy for that. I think with this type of cast, I think it'll be just fine. I think it'll be just fine because they hired her for a reason in Monarch. I think just the way the episodes dealt with not just her character, but a lot of the ways in Monarch was just slow and not necessarily well paced. I think this will be good. Fingers crossed. Any thoughts on
I mean, Disney are pushing it like crazy. They are obviously confident in it. It's all over Disney Plus. So, and it does look good. So yeah, no, I'll definitely. Yeah, I'm
okay. Melvin he said he watched 15 minutes of Shogun already. So he's saying that she was not great in Monarch, agreed upon. But she seems okay in here, which is good. That's what we need. Everybody has a bad day at the office, and everybody has great days at the office too. And I'm hoping Shogun's everybody's great day at the office.
Mm-hmm.
Just watched Smoking Aces 2. What a good shitty movie. Bad movies are just as beneficial as good movies when you're watching them sometimes.
Smoking Aces wasn't great.
No. Last of Us was the most popular illegally downloaded show last year. Last of Us is HBO. HBO are the only people I think that have gotten close to reclaiming their Game of Thrones title, and that was House of the Dragon that really did it. And Last of Us is the closest thing besides that, I believe. Shogun has the dad from Monarch also. No way. Okay, cool. I liked him a lot. He's been another. I think I recognize him from TV somewhere else, maybe a movie or something. I'm not sure, but I do like the actor. So anyway, while we're talking about Shogun, let's jump into a little more Avatar talk. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
Do you have a good, a bad, and ugly kind of section of thought for it, or you still enjoying it because you're on episode 6 of 8, right?
Yeah, 6 or 7. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really binging it. I'm loving. Some of the CGI has been dodgy, but I'm being unfair because it's very grand. They're shooting for the stars for this. So once or twice, some of the I felt like I was watching the second Matrix once or twice, and I was Claymen are back.
With the air bending, maybe.
Him riding the magical fart did make me laugh.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I even messaged you straight away, didn't I? Ang just rode around in a magical fart, and you even told me what it was called, and I'm like, you're such
it's an air ball, but no, it's a magical fart.
Yeah, no, it's a magical fart. But that's because expectations with CGI. This is a TV show, for God's sake. Really do need to limit your expectations. You cannot expect cinema quality CGI all the time in a TV show, even one that costs 15 million quid an episode, mate. It's not.
Well, just after Godzilla -1, I don't know if we can keep saying that. Honestly, though,
it's different though, because I mean, Godzilla -1. You've got to remember though, it's filmed very differently. I mean, a lot of the money and stuff goes towards taxes and things when you film something in America. There are expenses that are different, but no, I know this series cost $120 million or something to make.
130, something like that. Yeah,
which is stupid. Should never have cost that much. But it's once or twice it sticks out, but on the whole, I actually think they've done a good job.
I agree.
Pretty good. Once or twice, you've got to go. Ooh.
Worried about the bending, and really, air bending is the one that I think that looks the weakest, and they temper their use of it, which is decent, I guess.
Yeah. I think the water bending's been excellent.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much weight as I would like, but the fire has weight behind it, and the fire looks great.
Yeah, I do keep laughing when some of the firebenders they're going ready to threaten, and I did that going, oh come on, man. But the actors must have felt like such knobheads. But it's like actors doing sci-fi and stuff. I'm going, I've got a phaser. I'm like, this is I feel so stupid. But yeah, it's pretty good. So the effects once or twice have been dodgy, but I think I'm being unfair. Expectations should be limited. It's been beautifully filmed. I actually think that the style of everything has been amazing. Really, really good.
I agree.
It's very stylistic and beautifully done.
What do you think about the costuming?
I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, Aang looks great. Team Aang look great. Some of the Earthbenders have looked a bit silly, but you've got to do different styles for the different benders, haven't you? And whatever. And I keep calling it benders, and every time I say benders, my childish brain goes benders. But it's because I'm a child.
You're thinking about Bender from Futurama, right? The best
no, no, I was thinking of the derogatory term for people. That is a not a nice word, but it still makes me giggle inside my brain because I'm a child. But and it is a bit silly. Bad. What does the arrow point at?
That third eye.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's been pretty good. The style, I really like the style. I really think they've put it together really nicely. There isn't actually nothing in this that I would point at and go, I don't like. I know it's because you're comparing it to the cartoon, but you remember I haven't seen the cartoon in 20 years.
No, yeah, but that's a good thing. That's why I like having this conversation with people that have the different perspectives to jump on.
Yeah. So I'm not comparing the two at all. I don't really remember the story from the cartoon. I remember loving it, but I don't really remember the story. Yeah, Jay, can you do the laser sounds again? Yeah. No.
I don't even remember the laser sounds.
Pachoo, pachoo.
Oh, there you go.
No, I used to do like a phaser sound when I was a kid watching it, and it was I don't know if I can do it now. Like that, and I used to like phaser sounds. I used to really practice, and I can't do it now. But anyway, I
was trying to even think about how to do one, and I'm not even going to try it because I'm going to make myself look stupid. But
I got lasers. Dance, monkey dance.
That was a funny skit, real quick. Also, I haven't worked on the cheese P.O. box yet, but the more you mention a P.O. box, just send me cheese, the more I will probably end up getting a P.O. box because I like cheese.
We all like cheese.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We try. Yeah, they did apparently. Yeah, they filmed season 2 back to back.
I
They didn't tell anyone. I don't know why they did that. They didn't tell anyone.
I think it's smart. I think that's super smart. I think way more. Because Kevin Costner kind of did that with Horizon in a way. Filmed those first 2 parts all at once. I like that, where it's like I have confidence in what I'm going to put out there.
Yeah,
let's do it. But anyway, back to Avatar. The good, the bad, the ugly. You like the good. Not much bad per se.
No, a couple of little things just stood out in the first episode or so, but other than that, nothing really.
Okay. And any ugly? Maybe airbending?
Some of the fart riding was a bit weird, but actually, to be fair, I think it worked. And it was supposed to be a comedy moment. It was supposed to be him playing with some kids,
with the
stuff, and so it was fine. Some of the writing has been a bit. I'm not going to say that because I think it's fine. It's been a bit 2-dimensional once or twice, but it feels like they're just trying to get to the next bit.
Yeah,
it's fine because sometimes you just need to get to the next bit. On the whole, it's been all right. And you got to remember, this is really a kid's show, really. And it's core,
sort of, kind of
12, so it shouldn't be, but you know what I mean. Some of it's based on a cartoon as well. So I mean, sometimes maybe they want to feel like the cartoon a bit. I don't know, but sometimes it just feels like a bit. Yeah, I'm just getting to the next bit, and that's fine. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'm with you on that. If I'm choosing just blatant good, the bad, and the uglies, good. I liked that they opened it with Sozin's comet from 100 years ago. I did not like that the benders, the fire benders in that comet looked weak as hell. They looked less strong than Ozai on a normal day, which is like, this is not like a centennial comet that comes around once every 100 years that boosts firebenders' power so strong that
when did you get the MCubed t-shirt?
Huh?
When did you get the MCubed t-shirt? I've not seen that before.
Yeah. It's just been a while since I've worn it, I think.
Looking good.
Yeah, I like it. One of my friends made it for me a couple months ago, which was nice. Thank you, Mish. Thank you. Anime, not cartoon. Purist will whine. False. I love you, Peter, but it is a cartoon, not anime, because it's Western. It might be based on Eastern philosophy and Eastern practices, but it's a completely American-made, United States-made product. So,
yeah. And you really should know me by now that I don't care about things like that.
Yeah, but speaking of purist, I am an Avatar fucking purist, and this just ain't it. So, okay. Well, let me finish with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Good. I love that they included Sozin's comet and did all that. I like that they really were focused on making sure everything looked right. Part of the ugly would be that it does turn into a bit of cosplay at times, but generally, the costumes don't look great all the time. They are a little too vibrant for the middle of an Arctic tundra or the middle of a giant rocky landscape or whatever they may be. It doesn't feel like it actually would fit in this environment, but at times it does. So it just depends, like on literally the moment, I think. So that's a little bit of the ugly. I think I think most of the CG, especially for the bending, did look pretty damn good. The CG for the animals was a bit off. Momo and Appa, I wish there was more Momo and Appa, but I see why they did, because they're expensive as hell to make, and they didn't necessarily look great. They don't necessarily feel like they're in the same environment as the actors.
I think Appa was okay, but yeah, maybe Momo. Yeah, okay.
Appa had some good moments, I think, but a lot of times
I think you've thought about this way too much.
Oh yeah,
just sit back and enjoy it. I mean, if you're there going, well, that they wouldn't be able to get those uniforms washed.
Well, I did sit back and enjoy it for my actual first watch, or I tried to enjoy it.
First watch? How many times have you watched it?
No, I haven't watched it again, and I don't know if I plan to, honestly. Maybe before next season. Yep. Because I do hope they get another season, and I really hope that they're going to take what people are talking about from this season and make it good. Toph scares the hell out of me. One of the reasons I keep thinking about it is every morning for the last 4 days, I've woken up with at least 2 or 3 messages from different people, and just like spilling everything they're thinking about the entire series. Because I'm the movie guy, so they're always my friends text me and stuff. So it's a constant thing right now, and it probably will be for the next couple of weeks. But I'm okay with it. Is there an Avatar equivalent of red shirts? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, Ben just didn't do well.
Maybe. But the bad
season had already been greenlit.
I think it has. I don't know if it's going to be the same budget or anything, but I feel like
I don't think they'll have the same budget.
They kind of need it in a lot of ways, though, because it just gets more grandiose. Which is
they're going to have to be a bit cleverer, but that's pretty much every. I don't know what Netflix are doing actually with their budgets. I don't know if they're cutting back on budgets particularly. I've not heard story. I know Paramount, everyone else are, but I've not heard anything about Netflix. They've they've started making a profit again for the first time in years, so maybe they don't need to.
Yeah, especially after the ad tier, which we'll get into some stuff about later. But the bad for me, the way, because my next door neighbor and I, she is a huge Avatar person. Her and her boyfriend have literally been watching each episode one night for the last week, and then they'll kind of come talk to me and be like, "Okay, so this is what we're thinking about this. This is what I think about it. This is what he thinks about it. This is what we think about it." And then just kind of go back and forth, and it's just been fun. It takes 4 cornerstones to build a house.
Yeah.
In this adaptation, building this house. There's framework to follow. The blueprint's already there, so they're not guessing or anything like that. They just have to pick and choose what they want to do. I love the episode. Don't distract me, Melvin. Don't distract me, because Star Wars distracts me. Um, uh, so 4 cornerstones. The one cornerstone that they got right was the heart. I feel like this show kept the heart of the cartoon. The 3 cornerstones that they completely fluked and failed on were the brain, the soul, or the brain, the spirit, and what's the other thing I was thinking? I lost that one. Anyway, the brain is the writing. The writing was utter disastrous. I did not like any of the writing for the entire show. The only reason some of the episodes were decent, I think, was because of the original show. It was literally adapting one of the best cartoons ever made, and that was what brought some of the goodness. I don't necessarily think the writers are bad. I just think that they were focused on the wrong things, and hopefully that's something that they take thinking about going into season 2. That wait a second, see you, shit farmer. And isn't he like Australia or something? I never remember. No, you're Wisconsin. Cheese. My bad. I don't know. I got the cheese hat right here.
Boom. You said it was the best cartoon ever made. He-Man and
one of the best.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It might be the best though. I don't know if there's a better one. But pound per pound, I don't know if there's a better one. Animes actually make that hard though. Animes would actually make that very hard. But anyway, cheese. Okay. So the cornerstones.
Back to the magic farts.
The brain was just not there. And if you want to just talk about one blatant scene of just shite writing, and it kept the heart because they made sure when casting that everybody looked perfect. Yeah. Gran in episode 1, at the end of the episode, just randomly starts giving the actual like Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon like intro when Katara already gave us her version of the intro, yada yada. But Gran's just like, you can just see her standing there with all the kids, and there's 1,000% cue cards right over here, and she's just, yes, this is, the Avatar was lost, and now you, Mr. Avatar, are gonna go help people, and it's gonna be a good thing. I was like, God damn it, shut up! Like, it was so bad. It hurt me so bad watching it, just from an acting perspective. I was like, who hired this person? And she looked great. I don't like poo-pooing on actors. I really don't. But wow,
didn't even notice it, mate. I didn't like the first episode though. I was thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to watch this. It wasn't until the second, maybe third episode, I was like, okay, I like this.
Okay, but
I was a bit.
The writing throughout. So I thought I was double speaking earlier. I was gonna say soul and spirit. Those are the other 2 of the 3 things right there. Learn your bloody lines for real. You know, you're not Marlon Brando. Anyway, they got the heart, lost the brain, they lost the spirit of the show, very simply, which is literally the spirit world aspect of Avatar, which is a quintessential aspect. Everything that involved the spirit world sucked in this show, and it hurts.
Now the weak it is.
It doesn't. It's nonsensical. It doesn't actually make any sense. In the spirit world, yes, it is a dangerous place. There is turmoil in there, and there are bad things that can happen. But the spirit world's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be this place that's it's not just like ominous. And yeah, there might be ominous parts, but it's supposed to be ethereal and be awe-inspiring and say this is what nature is actually supposed to be. And man-made world has kind of changed, and we've split off from what nature actually wants to be. And the spirit world is what nature's supposed to actually be. And that was just not.
Would that make sense in the concept of the series, though? Because it was supposed to be that the Fire Nation had come in and damaged or injured the spirit beings, wasn't it? So if they'd have flipped over and it all been beautiful and lovely, would that have fit what they were trying to say?
Yeah, because the spirit world's not just super lovely. Like that's part of it. Like it's ethereal in both like a beautiful way, but if you go into this fog in the spirit world, you're lost forever, and you lose. You become an amnesiac if you're not helped, kind of deal. And then there's a bunch of different things. The face stealers, literally stealing people's faces in the spirit world. You know, not necessarily the best place, but it has an essence of beauty, and it's not just the dull because it was all they did to represent the spirit world was just dull down the colors of the episode, which
it was a weak episode.
The set should
next
be different.
Episode was much better. It was a weak episode.
Well, even not just that episode in general. Every time they do anything spirit world wise, I actually abhor that they make it where Aang doesn't like. Maybe you don't need to go to this avatar form and go all crazy, super powerful all the time with Aang, but he can only reach avatar form whenever an older avatar shrines around him. First of all, when Legend of Korra comes in way later, I don't think they'll ever actually get to make a live action Legend of Korra, especially now, not right now at least. That if you've seen the show, that doesn't make any sense at all. So I don't like that he's not able to tap into this. He's literally an all-powerful being in so many ways. Like the embodiment of goodness and light in the world, Rava, is inside of the avatar. He can only access that whenever an old past life shrines around. It doesn't make any sense, and it's going to screw up season 2 a lot because there are a couple moments that he's nowhere near anywhere avatar shrine like that he does. I'm afraid what the character development will be. Anyway,
he's going to learn no more, isn't he? At the moment, they're making the big point of I don't know what I'm doing. And he's supposed to learn as he goes. I am just a little bit surprised I'm on episode 7 and he hasn't tried to learn any other bending skills. He's met water benders, he's met, and he's not of them going, earth benders. How would you do it? I'd like to give that a go. And at no point is he even. I thought that was the point of the first series, if I remember, that he's supposed to be going all to all the different things and learning how to do
it. That's why I'm saying the writers quintessentially and fundamentally do not understand what they are adapting, and they need to go back and like actually learn what this is about. Not just like because what they're doing is a very Zack Snyderism in a lot of ways, and I love some Zack Snyder films, but I've publicly said not the biggest fan of what he's been doing in recent years, and it's because he doesn't care about the narrative as a whole. And he's like, I'm going to have a viral moment here. This moment's going to be really good for this character because it's going to do this cool little thing. And he's more worried about having cool moments than actually. And that's
he's more bothered about the visual aspect, and maybe the creators here have been more bothered because visually this is stunning.
Yes.
And he said in the live, Aang said, I need to go and learn all the different. So he said it. He just then didn't. He hasn't done it yet.
So are we going to have 4 seasons now? But that doesn't make any sense. Like
Maybe that's the idea that they're going to focus. This will be Airbender, and next one will be I don't know. But he's already been to the Earthbenders thing. He met his old mate, whose character I loved, by the way. And then he met his old mate and everything. So, but he didn't. He was trying to teach him what it is to be. At the moment, this season just seems to be about he is an Airbender, and he's trying to learn what being the Avatar is, rather than any skills that are related to being the Avatar. If that makes sense.
It does. It just doesn't make sense for the timeline of the show because he's got about 5 months.
Yeah, but and maybe go again focusing on the cartoon and let this be its own thing. They're doing it differently. And I'd say, but I'm only defending it because I am genuinely, really, really loving it.
Well, there are parts that because that's the thing. Like I'm poo-pooing it a lot because I love, like, kind of like Star Trek Discovery for you. This is Star Trek. This feels like Star Trek Discovery
when you really love something. Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a lot of the visceral kind of talk about it for a while, is because Avatar: The Last Airbender, like everybody my age to the entirety of millennials, because I'm kind of on the edge of the cusp there. We're like we have it ingrained in our brains. Like literally my 30-year-old neighbor and her 33, 34-year-old boyfriend and my 25-year-old self are talking about it like school children every day. Like it's great, and might be almost a 10-year difference between us, but we have it in our brains and we all know it like by heart. And that's with a property like that, you have to be careful with that, adapting it. I think Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson and everybody alongside him at New Line, they were very careful. They knew some things weren't going to work. Doing, Harry Potter, the entire time. Chris Columbus, of course, started the earlier films, but throughout the series, they were very careful because they knew how much
rolling on their backs, constantly going, you can't do this, you can't do that. You do this, do that. You need to focus a bit more on this because it's going to be important later. And
I'm worried this is going The Witcher. It's very much feeling more so like The Witcher in the sense where they don't really give a shit about the original.
Well, you're talking about TV shows desperately wanting to be Game of Thrones. Witcher is the show that was desperately trying to be Game of
Desperately
Thrones.
trying, yeah.
And you can see that that's what the creators are trying to do. They're trying to sex it up. They're trying to do this and that. And you know that Henry Cavill is there going, this isn't what The Witcher is. But we're not making Game of Thrones. We're making The Witcher. And you can 100% see what he got. As soon as he was able to get out of that contract, he did.
Yeah. Which was interesting.
Yeah, and this, yeah. But I don't think the Avatar is that, though. But The Witcher, I don't think it's going to go the way of The Witcher. I think they're trying to be respectful of the cartoon, and in lots of ways I think they are, but they're trying to do something different. And that's what I want. To be honest, it's like when Disney do live action versions of things like The Lion King. And on one hand, I think, why are you bothering? It's a classic, leave it alone. But when they do it, they try to do something a bit different in places. But like I watched Beauty and the Beast, and I quite liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand The Lion King, but I haven't watched. I just thought it was stupid. I just thought if you're going to animate the whole thing, why are you doing a new?
Jon Favreau is one of my favorite filmmakers, and I think the best live action adaptation of any of the Disney stories so far has been The Jungle Book.
But anyway,
Lion King.
I didn't hate The Jungle Book, but if you're going to do something though in live action that was a cartoon, it needs to be, for me, it needs to be different. Or what's the point in doing it?
I agree with you. I just don't think they found that balance. I don't think they're anywhere near that balance because they're more focused on cherry picking the moments than actually like they don't. That's why I think the writers are one of the big. They have lost the brain of the show because they don't understand what they're adapting. It needs to be different, but they don't understand the core themes and essence of the original show to bring into this show because that's what this show needs is an actual like essence. It doesn't feel like it actually has its own anything, and it's not going to be able to either by like if they did all 22 episodes of and followed it plot point by plot point, nobody would be happy. They need to change things, but they need to be careful about what they're changing. Like
the question here, then, before I know you got other things you want to talk about, but this isn't the first time there's been a live action version.
No. Tenfold better than Midnight.
Yeah. So if we're comparing it to that, are you happier than when that movie came out?
Significantly.
Let's stop bitching. Just sit back and enjoy it, man.
If we sit back and enjoy it, we'll keep getting shitty stuff though. That's why all the Marvel movies have gone downhill. That's why film in general has gone downhill, and TV is going to go the same route if we don't stand up and take a stand.
Well, you make the good point that Star Trek is the same for me, and a lot of people just say to me, "Calm down, sit back and watch it," and I'm like, "No, they got this wrong, and they got this wrong, and that's wrong, and it's annoying me." And even when I had hard season 3 that I loved, it still annoyed me. So no, I take your point, but I've enjoyed it, but maybe because there's 20 years gap for me, so I can enjoy it from I
literally watch it once
the TV show, just enjoying the TV show. I'm not comparing it to anything. And if they do a season 2, like I watched Willow, and I felt that was something trying to be something, and I hated it all the way through. I absolutely hated it. So Go the Devil, yes we have. Don't distract me, because I'm trying not to think about football. It makes me sad. But yeah, this isn't that for me. I think they've done a reasonably good job. There's bits of it I don't like, but on the whole, I think they've done a lovely job. Look, I'm actually holding my Manchester United pen.
Hello.
And I had my Manchester United flask. I'm enjoying it. I genuinely can't wait to watch the next episode. And I don't think you can have any more than that.
No. Never once was I not excited to watch the next episode. I at least, even if I was a little soured, I was still intrigued enough. Like, okay, well, there's enough here. Like, where could we go from here? You know, and part of it was well done, and part of it, I think episode 6 was a really good episode. I think it was the only really good episode of the entire season.
I've just watched 6, and that was the height. This is what I really, really enjoyed 6. But I think a show should build towards a crescendo at the end. I'm actually thinking this is actually going to have a decent end. I'm really built up to it. I'm hoping it doesn't tail off, as some series do. But at the moment, I'm like, yeah. But even if you think like
I'm interested to see what you'll think about that. You'll have to let us know if you think it tails off or not, because
it doesn't. Well, it's real like Echo recently on Marvel. I really enjoyed the first two episodes, and my God, that show tailed off. It started really well. I thought they got it just right in the beginning, and then they just sort of went, "Yeah, we don't really know what we're doing." This and that. They just didn't really know what they were doing with it. And then the end, when she just sort of like gives Kingpin a big hug, I'm just like, what the fuck was that? Kick him in the face or do something for the love of God. What did you do? I don't care what she did. A bunch of people turned up behind her. It's just stupid. So by the end of that, I was really defending that show, and by the end of it, I was like, I should have shut my mouth. This is shit. But it started well. Avatar started weakly and it's got better for me, but let's see what the next two episodes do.
So I don't know if you know about this casting. Obviously, I would think you remember, if you remember much from the show, especially from the first season, the girl that turns into the moon spirit and all that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You know who the actress is?
No.
Amber frickin' Mid-Thunder. Miss Prey herself. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Old Sokka and Amber Mid-Thunder. So whenever that happened, I was excited. The last two episodes are fundamentally different than the show as well. So I was a little jaded with that. I don't necessarily dislike the way they handled from what they did. The spirit world aspect of what it is, though, again, is a bastardized version of what it can be.
I'm like, move on from that.
For what the show is doing, I think it was not just fine, but it's okay. I don't want to say just fine, because then it'll encourage them to keep doing that BS. But it was okay. It was serviceable.
They're not listening to you, so it's fine.
Good. Well, that's why I'm interested in what your perspective will be after the fact. But to final this conversation out, the fourth and final cornerstone that they did fail upon was the adventure aspect of the show. It lost the soul of the show. The soul of Avatar is, we only have this much time, but we were kids. We want to go stop over here and ride this unagi. And there's, of course, you can't with adding maturity. Calico, I'm sorry, cat. This cat's meowing at me. I understand that with a more mature show, you can't have a lot of these super kid-like things like, let's all take our own little mini vacation over here, which is literally an episode at one point. Great episode, by the way, because it brings us into Washington's library, which I don't know why they included him in season 1. Anyway, I can go off on a whole tangent for that. The brain, the spirit, and the soul were gone in their own rights. The heart was still there, and I think that the heart was so strong, and it was beating and pumping as hard as it could. And because they cast as well as they did, mostly, I think the love that the cast had for the original show comes across in spades. And I really like that. I really I adore that they love it as much as they do, and they wanted to be honest and as good to the source material as they could be, but then they were given the dialogue and the lines and the exposition that they were given, and you know what, they said their lines with as much heart as they could muster. Yeah. So thank you for doing that, but please, writers, give them good stuff for season 2. Is that 58 minutes of soapboxing about Avatar? I
think we're good. Should we talk about Warner Brothers?
Yeah, but real quick, while we're talking about casting, real quick, just because one of our shows that we kind of talk about, not often, but when it's on, we giggle like schoolgirls again about it, is Only Murders in the Building. Yeah. Did you see who was just added to the cast list for season 4?
Last thing I saw was Eva.
Sofia Vergara.
Sorry, thank you. Yeah.
Now we get Eugene Levy.
Ooh, really?
Which he just fits perfectly in that little aesthetic for the show. I'm excited about that. It makes me very happy.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Right, I'm looking forward to that.
That's all we got there. Harris, are you watching along later at Star Wars: The Phantom Menace? I will try to. I will be there for at least a part of it, for damn sure. I might not be able to watch along, but I will be there for you, Melvin. Also, I think Sarah's in here. Sarah, I did send the link on Facebook. I think, pretty sure. Yes, I did. Okay, just double checking. I sent it on Facebook. If you ever want to hop in, come hop in. Real quick, just catching up on some of these chats here. They needed to save the budget for the ocean spirit so Aang could learn waterbending as a result. Yeah, but he should have been waterbending from episode. He should have been waterbending from the time that he got out of the ice and he's realizing that he has to go to the North Pole. Like Katara is supposed to be waterbending alongside him, and I think that's a lot of where Katara's arc has. There is no Katara arc because Katara's arc is helping Aang waterbend, realizing, wait, I might be really good at waterbending, and I might be like a masterful like level of waterbending, and I can really catch on. But he's the freaking Avatar. He's going to learn faster than I do. I can watch him gain some of that stuff, and then I can make my own moves with the ice shooting and stuff like that. Learn from other benders like Iroh does, which just shows her emotional intelligence, which was completely missing from the show. But yeah. What is it about Avatar that I love? Everything. The character development is some of the best character development of any show ever, and that's why I think people love it so much. Especially the ones that grew up with it, because that taught us what good character development in a show can be. I think it's why my age group was the big age group that was like, Lord of the Rings doesn't necessarily fit with my age group a lot of the times. Of course, I'm the big old nerd that's like, hell yeah, give it to me. I love me some Lord of the Rings. But I think this fits in that Game of Thrones kind of style, like because my age group went from like Avatar, grew up, like good storytelling. Then we've got Game of Thrones as we were becoming adults or in our young adulthood. And I think it's odd, not full circle, but something's happening to almost become full circle. Mark, Gen X, but after millennials, we've always referred to ourselves as Generation Y. That's funny. So, people just start murders. Martin Short, but it's like he's supposed to.
He's supposed to annoy you a little bit. Yeah, he's supposed to be a little annoying. But some people just don't like Martin Short. He can't.
Some people do not like Martin Short, and I get it to a degree, but I love me some Martin Short. He's just great. Let me take a look over here to see what's next over here. You want to talk about Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount closing their negotiations right quick?
Just because I just wanted to go, I told you so, I told you so.
Yeah.
But I told everybody more than a week ago that Warner Brothers were being priced out of it, basically. The merger that they wanted to do was to basically, they were willing to take on the debt, but they didn't want to actually give any money. And then a bunch of other companies turned up and went, we'll give you money and take the debt. And it just priced them out. So now Warner Brothers were never going to add $30 billion to their debt. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So, just no, told you so.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't think there are any updates. You might have something, but don't tell us if you can't. Be safe. Be cautious.
So a little bit of an update in that Sundance have now taken the lead, basically.
Over like Byron Allen, over a couple of these other people too.
Byron Allen is not being taken seriously by National Amusements at the moment. They basically the question has been, how are you paying for it? And I know he's got significant investors, but the argument has been some of those investors are it doesn't make sense on paper. I'll put it that. That's basically what I was told.
Like maybe like a Saudi prince is giving him money or something. That's not like just a blatant.
There's been some question about the Sundance money, but you know when they got to do due diligence on these things for a business. But a part of it is you've then got to prove you've got the money.
Yeah.
Sundance can prove they've got the money. And Byron Allen apparently has not got to that point. But Sundance are actually doing the due diligence, which is the legal part of proving they've got the funds, proving they've got all this sort of thing. And also, from Paramount's point of view, they're looking at it going, this won't even be an issue with the this won't be an issue with the FCC, but it might be with Byron Allen. I honestly think there's an argument for do a split and that Paramount goes to Sundance and CBS goes to basically the old Viacom CBS split. CBS goes to Byron Allen because Byron Allen wants it mainly for the TV side of things, and Paramount. I actually think if if Sundance get this, and for what I was basically told, if Sundance gets this, they want the film side. They're not as interested in the CBS side, and they will have to get some money back for investors. So expect then to see elements of CBS getting sold on, basically.
Okay.
So it'll be a different business, but Sundance, and then Sundance have the skills to actually do it. So, but I'm being told they're the front runners right now. They're the only ones actually doing the actual, like I say, the legal stuff to move towards actually being able to do it, and that does mean literally putting money in a bank account and saying, "There's the money, we can do it."
It's showing that you have not just a cash flow, but available cash to spend on it.
Yeah. It's not quite as simple as just going, look, we got 30 billion quid in the bank, but it's basically saying that it's proving that you can pay for what you're saying you're going to pay for. It's one of the things with Man United being bought at the moment, has been sold recently, that actually the Qataris never actually proved they could pay for it. And I'm just like, but it's the Qataris, they can buy and sell anything they want, but they never actually got to the legal point of saying, there's the money. Warner Brothers, though, they were priced out of this pretty early on. I've actually spoke to somebody a couple of weeks ago, and he said Warner Brothers were furious when this got leaked. They were absolutely furious. They were hoping to get further along because they didn't want competition. And as soon as competition stepped in, they were like, well, we're out. We can't. We can't do that.
It makes sense, because if your pitch is, let's put our debt together versus we're gonna clean your debt and buy out, it's good luck.
Yeah, it's no option. But I mean, Paramount is being massively over valued. It's massively overvalued. But they reckon they've got about £1 billion worth of real estate that they could be sold.
Okay.
That's basically not being used, which is just, as a business model, again, it's just stupid. Yeah. But Sundance will come in, and I think they'll concentrate on movies. They won't want the CBS side of it. And I don't think they know what to do with it.
Sundance?
Sundance, yeah.
You don't think they know what to do it?
Oh. Skydance, sorry. I always mix Skydance and Sundance up. I don't know why. I do know why. They sound similar.
Yeah.
No, Sundance. I was right first time, wasn't I?
I'm thinking of Sundance. Skydance, I'm not familiar with. I'm thinking that might be like a.
No, I'm just thinking of the Skydance Film Festival, aren't I? Sundance. My brain is just rubbish. No, it's Skydance Media. It's Skydance Media. I was right the second time. Skydance Media.
I've read
Sundance is the film festival.
Yeah.
Skydance. Skydance know how to make movies. They've got 10 years experience. They know how to do it. I don't know if they even want to get involved in something like CBS. And what that means for things like Star Trek is going to be interesting, and Yellowstone and all these other shows that we love on Paramount Plus. I'm being told that the deal between Comcast to merge Paramount Plus is more likely if the Skydance deal goes through. And Warner Brothers are now going to be working more closely towards merging Netflix with Max. That's probably more likely going to happen next year. So that's pretty confident that's the way they're going to go.
I think that makes the most sense as of now, just because they've already been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, but for Warner, it just makes sense because it lowers their costs and they get a bit of cash in that they need. So they get a cash injection and they lower costs. Happy days. So
happy days. Wrexham needs a Deadpool logo. That would be fun.
Yeah, they do. Oh, hell yeah.
But look who we got down here.
Yeah, Peacock and Paramount Plus will probably be merged sometime next year.
That would be, I mean, talking about Yellowstone real quick, that would be the best for Yellowstone.
Yeah. Again, because Paramount and Peacock have good working links already. But I think that just their content feels kind of right, if that makes sense. I don't know. I can see it as one thing. But I just think it would become Paramount something else. I think they'd probably get rid of the Peacock name. It doesn't travel well, Peacock.
No, I was just there's a really funny Instagram account called Overheard LA. I think there's Overheard New York as well. And one of the things on Overheard LA, I think with the last couple of days, as this news about like, oh, Peacock and Paramount could merge, someone said, oh, I can't wait to watch Mount Cock later or whatever. And I'm just like, oh God, like here we go. The names are going to be all over the place.
Yeah, I think they'll come up with something different. I think it'll be something different. And there won't be an IP fire sale. There won't be, and there won't be bankruptcy either. It's more valuable as an entity than it is separately. I say that Paramount Global is probably more valuable separately. There is probably a point there, but because of the way this is being done, the initial sale, it isn't an option to split. Basically, National Amusement, are selling their shares. Whoever buys those shares is buying, or will take control. Will take control of Paramount Global as an entity.
Okay.
Then we could see a splitting.
That would make more sense in a lot of ways. Yeah. Just
that's the only way it can happen. Initially.
Yeah, get all your chickens in a coop and spread them out from there, kind of deal.
Yeah. Well, it's again because it's not the whole company that's being sold necessarily; it's a controlling share that's being sold. So, it's 8 seats at the table that's being sold, sort of thing. So it's not like when Amazon just bought MGM straight. This is somebody buying 70% of Paramount, I believe. 74%, something like that.
It's a big.
It's the controlling interest, but it's not the whole shebang. It will give them a lot of power to do things later, but you still have to do things through the legal framework of the stock market. So there's things they can do, things you can't do. But splitting a split now isn't practically possible. Somebody just needs to buy all those shares. Once all those shares are bought, you can move into a Viacom CBS split like we had previous. And I suspect that's the way it'll go. Mainly because investors will desperately want some money back.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well, before we jump on to our next little topic, look who we got. We've got Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Finally.
I know. Talking about putting faces to names over the last couple episodes kind of deal,
I know. I feel like I kind of know you guys, but to you, I was just an avatar, or, a picture and text, so it's nice to actually see you face to face.
Well, after last Friday and 17 hours on a live stream, I feel like I know a few of you much better.
Oh, yeah.
You have to do another one of those. It was kind of fun. I liked hanging out.
I'm going to do Firefly next. I am going to do Firefly because it's my show.
I haven't watched that through in a while, so.
Oh, I watch it once a year. The only problem is you guys are going to want to talk to me. I'm not going to just mouth in the words that's like talking along.
You said the script on word for word.
Yeah, I'm terrible with it. I'm just love it so much. But I might. Was it you? Somebody else had the idea of the worst and best episode from each season.
That was me.
Yeah. I thought it was. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I like that idea.
I like it a lot.
And throw in the 200th episode as well, because people either love or hate that episode. So that's perfect.
That's got to be, what was that, season 5? That's got to be like best of season 5, isn't it? I don't know.
Or some people think it's the worst. So,
but
it's a love or hate.
That's why everybody loves it, right?
But I think that'll be fun because we can. I'm not going to forget.
There's no way you can forget
Melvin.
Hi, everybody in chat, by the way. They're saying hi.
Touching to roll my eyes. But yes, I thought that was a brilliant idea, and definitely we will do that. We'll have to pick them on a Sunday and then do it.
No, I'm going to have to think about it, so I can put up a list, I guess. But
and then another 17 hours.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I could do 17 hours, but
Oh, it's painful.
Well, the problem is you're like mostly during the night for me because I'm on the West Coast, like Harris. So
okay.
Yeah, he complained at me as well. He went to bed halfway through.
Well, you kept telling me to go to bed because I think I got like 1:30, 2 in the morning. I'm just like, okay, I'm here. And you're like, go to sleep so you can actually come on to the show later. I was like, good point.
I got to admit that I actually loved it, but I got to about 14 hours and then my brain just did go like static. I was really glad you guys started arguing about Star Wars. And I think
that was the Star Wars debate. Did you?
That's Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
God,
yeah.
But no, it's so nice to meet you. It's so nice, so cool to put face to face.
For real, yeah.
But I have to go.
I know. I actually do too. I got to pick up my daughter from school. She gets out early on Wednesday, so
perfect time.
So please come and maybe join us on a Sunday when we're doing something, and it would be lovely to have your opinion on things. We keep saying we need girls.
I don't know if I could do this Sunday, but my husband's going on a business trip, and anyway, I don't need to explain, but maybe in a couple of weeks.
Is that why the boyfriend's coming around? The husband's going away.
Yeah, my side piece is coming over for a visit, so.
Of course.
I hope he doesn't watch this channel.
I hope he doesn't either.
Cat bag. But no, give us a day that you fancy and come and join us, and we'll have a chat. We're doing a presidential debate this Sunday anyway. So.
Okay. Well, you got my email address now, so you can send me stuff. I guess so I can prepare. You know.
Did you send it on Facebook and stuff?
We don't.
Yeah. I tried DMing you, but I guess I'm just too dumb to know how to do it, or I can't. It's not working or something. I don't know. So I just did it this way. But
just drop me a message on Facebook through Facebook.
Okay.
And I'll say hello. Okay. And then I can send it to you really easily. Then, if you drop me your email, though, it's easier to actually join. If you've got a computer, it's easier to join through an email. Because otherwise you have to copy, paste, send it to your email address. Link through.
Yeah.
He keeps sending me the links through Pigging Messenger, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna send it to my email.
I literally every time you send a link, I just click it on Messenger and it sends me right here.
But I don't have Messenger on my laptop.
Just log on. I just log on to Facebook. I don't know
how to do that. I'm 46 years old. Leave me alone.
It's not just part of your Facebook.
It's just part of your Facebook.
I don't have Facebook on my laptop.
Anyway,
I don't log into Facebook on my laptop.
I'm going to download Chrome and do all this stuff to get on, but I'm ready now. So
perfect. Well, we will see you in a couple of weeks then.
Any and every time you're ready to come on, just let us know.
All right, I will. Okay.
Anything that increases or lowers the testosterone,
I'll break up the sausage party. That sounds like
that'd be lovely. We need a gap in the sausage party. Oh, I just thought of a terrible joke, which I'm not going to say. I'm so glad I caught it. You know, when your brain goes, say that.
Right.
If we were 14 hours in, he would have just said it, which can be funny.
Yeah. I'm on M3 as well. I should have just said it, but I don't want to offend Sarah early on. We'll wait.
I don't get offended easy, so don't worry.
We'll wait till we're 20 minutes into the live until we really, really offend you. So, well, actually, we'll leave Stormy to do that anyway.
Yeah, Stormy will do it in a heartbeat. Accidentally.
You got to meet him too, and hopefully Matt is able to come back on one of these days. So,
yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, Matt is a little busy at the moment. Bless him, he's got a new job and things, but he'll make a reappearance when he can.
Okay.
But
I've started to send Matt Doctor Who things that I see on Twitter just to try to encourage him to be like, come on, come say howdy, just like something.
Yeah.
He's got a bit down on the whole Stargate thing though. Actually, he's let himself get a bit disappointed, a bit depressed with it. I keep telling him, it's like, mate, don't worry. These things just take forever. Don't worry. But he's like, no, it's too much false stars. I'm getting depressed. I'm like, no, I get it.
Can't blame him.
It is depressing. But
it is difficult. But anyway,
we'll get back to us.
Hopefully
sooner than later.
Yeah.
All right. I've got to go shopping and I've got to feed my children.
Yes.
It's been a long day. You might have noticed the yawning. Oh my God, it's been a long day.
Well, a final question for you here. Is old CB coming on Sunday?
What?
Chilling in the basement, Aaron?
I've got to invite him. I've screwed him 3 times now.
I came on his Saturday stream and I didn't hop on, but I was in the chat and I was just like, is Jamie coming on? And he's like, Jamie's dead right now.
I was ruined. Saturday, I was properly ruined. I had a migraine all day. Mm-hmm. My migraine was so bad I didn't even notice how bad my back was. And then on Sunday, my migraine went away, and I'm like, oh my God, my back.
Right.
I
So
didn't
how was
stand
Monday?
up enough.
What was wrong on Monday?
That's fine, Monday.
Okay.
It sounds like a David. What's that David thingy song? I made a run of money, had a migraine on Sunday, but back on Monday. But that's fine Tuesday.
I think
so.
That
Next time I need to stand up and walk around a bit more.
Yeah.
Basically, is the moral of that story. But definitely, I'm going to do a couple of more of those because actually, I've just had an interview with somebody in the companion. With Brad Wright, and they've got a big project coming up, and I know, I don't know what. So I'll be able to talk about that in a couple of weeks, and I might do something.
I'm a member, so I get to watch the stuff. So
well, you should find out on Sunday. You'll find out what I'm talking about. I think.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, they've asked us to be involved, and maybe something we can do something at Basingstoke Comic Con as well, which would be cool. Which we're going to. Yeah. And by the way, guys, because this is the first time I've been live. I have bought San Diego Comic-Con tickets. I have gotten the flight tickets. I've done it. Right. So thank you so much for that, because I wouldn't be going without you guys. I ended up making about 650 quid on with that Friday.
That's awesome.
That was enough for my wife went, oh, go on then.
You're like, I'm doing a Firefly one in a couple weeks. That'll put me right over.
Yeah.
That's for spending money.
I might have to. But we can do that for charity. So some sort of charity, which would be good.
Yeah.
So because we want things. So yeah, I need to send you the date. Some sort of charity. It might be Jamie's charity. But I need to buy more Lego sets. Look, I'm getting on. Look.
Of course.
Oh,
I need to buy more Lego.
So far.
Is that supposed to be something?
Like a spaceship. Look, it's got a top and everything. So I need to buy more Lego sets. Have
you decided if that's going to be Daedalus or Hammond or what yet?
It's going to be the Victory. I think I've decided. Decided. This is the British one. Right. I'm going to have a video on it, I think, probably Thursday or Friday, because I've been taking photos of them building it, and it's almost like a motion capture thing. It's grown. But I'm going to do a little bit, and I'm going to talk about
time lapse.
Do you want to do blue bricks? Do you want to make a blue bricks? Should you buy blue bricks? So I'm doing a little video on that. So,
sounds good. Fucking safety guy for blue bricks.
Yeah. Should you buy blue bricks? Calm down, Melvin. I'll do it when I get round to it. Jeez, I've only just done one.
Next Tuesday. No, middle of the week be awful. Jay, man, is that all you've managed of the Victory? Come on, man. Is that all you've managed?
I have a full-time job, 2 children, and I keep having to do videos for you people. Leave me alone.
Well, you're supposed to ignore them and pay attention to us only.
It's just how the internet works, right?
To be honest,
literally the second you look at your phone, the rest of the world's gone. What's different from a laptop, right?
To be honest, I barely ever remember to feed them. And look, I should have gone shopping nearly an hour ago. I still haven't gone. Oh, I'm getting messages.
I really have to go, you guys, but I'm glad to be on, and I will do it again.
Well, we would love to see you. Cannot wait.
Thank you for coming and hanging out. Like, if you want to come and talk like topics, you're always more than welcome as well.
All right, as long as I know ahead of time. I got to catch up on some stuff. But
of course,
just come and talk shit. It's also fine.
All right,
I gave Jay the entire bullet list about 5 minutes before we started.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Just come with an opinion and say it confidently.
All right, I will.
Sarah, run, go get child.
But pushing forward here a little bit, but while we're just talking,
let her out of the group.
Do I have to do that?
Let her leave, and then you can hit remove, and then she can just leave.
Okay.
I have to tell you how to do everything. Right, I have to go. I do have to go and feed my children.
I just get excited and keep talking, you know?
I know. We ran over again. I was supposed to leave at 7:10. You.
I didn't. I kind of did it. Oops.
Yeah, you do it every week.
I brought Sarah in, and we started hanging.
Yeah. Oops. I need to stop worrying about having a topic on a Sunday as well, because you can just talk forever. Kay actually said, because you're gonna go stay at Harris's. I'm like, I think so, yeah. Because but you don't. You only know him like on the chat. Do you think he'll have something to talk about? Because for the love of God, I keep having to tell him to stop talking at me and let me go. I think we'll be okay.
I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll just go to the cinema.
Norman gives us a phone call at any point. We'll be able to talk for an extra fucking 4 days. Like,
I think we'll start a live stream, and 3 days later, we'll finish. So no, it's not going to be a problem. I need to send you the dates and when I'm Yeah, David, they don't feed me. You're fucking right, mate.
You got to get one of the kids on a cooking, like you got to get them really onto like a cooking kind of.
Oh no, they do cook. We've made them a little bit more independent. I'm trying to get them more independent. But I went in one of their rooms this morning because we've got them some new bedding, so I had to make their bed. And for some reason, a 14-year-old child is incapable of making their own bed. So I walked in. He said, "What are you doing in my room?" I was like, "Fuck off. For one, my room, until you pay a mortgage, it's my room. But for two, I'm here to slave after you."
I got to pick some stuff up. I got to pick up your blue bricks so I can go put them on my blue bricks. Come on.
Yeah, damn right. I'm making your bed. Do you think I want to make your bed? I want. Anyway.
You're like, I was in the military. I don't need to make any more freaking bed for the rest of my life.
My stepdad moaned at me once saying, like, "I've just seen the state of your bed. What are you doing?" Because he was in as well. And the Churchill. Peter Moore just said to call it the Churchill. I'm like, that might not be a bad shout. And yeah, I was like, I am consciously don't care about things like that anymore as much as I used to. But anyway, like, guys, I'm going. I've got to go. We haven't even got milk. I can't even make a cup of tea.
Can you press your own buttons, or do I need to press the buttons?
No, I'm just going to go. But you can drop me out, and then it's a clean thing. So see you.
There we go. We'll call that it. Okay, well, we got a couple more topics to go over. Not a whole bunch, but we'll kind of run through them. I think 2 hours will be like our max point. I think 145 will be what we shoot for, kind of deal. Let me check my leftover here. Ooh, we should have talked about it while we had old Jamie here, Mr. J himself. R. Lance Hill has filed a lawsuit, against Amazon for the new Roadhouse film. It's a little bit dicey, and I might be getting some of the details wrong, so correct me if so, whether you know it right now or you're someone coming in later and actually like know the deal and the deals maybe happened. Correct me in the comments, all that kind of stuff. If I'm wrong, which is a high possibility, if I'm being honest. But, the lawsuit itself is really interesting in the sense that it's two or three different like avenues. There's an AI aspect to it. There's the script being a little too close for comfort in R. Lance Hill's opinion. And then I think part of the streaming versus releasing it in theaters comes from this kind of decision making or whatever it may be. It's weird. So before, I think November 2023 was the deadline that they had to have the film maybe finished kind of deal. And R. Lance Hill, the original writer for Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, has said that he completely thinks that they have utilized and used AI to finish out a script and even finish in certain like ADR dialogue spots. And that has made them meet their deadline, which they were not going to meet, which would have allowed him to kind of almost, I don't know if he would have been able to like cancel the project, or at least it would have given him another level of creative control over the project to some fashion. I'm not entirely sure. Jake Gyllenhaal did throw the director under the bus, and it's Doug Liman. I was about to say David Leitch. Doug Liman's the director. He's kind of shot himself in the foot talking about it too, and I think it's just kind of one of those things where like, hey, take a step back. Jake Gyllenhaal, you don't say anything either. Let the studio handle this one kind of deal. Copyright would have run out. That's okay. Copyright would have run out. And R. Lance Hill, the original writer for Roadhouse, is saying that AI has made it where they're capable of actually finishing this film in the timeline that they were given. Whether that's the case or not is up for debate, because Amazon themselves have said that, wait, we didn't use AI to finish the script or do anything like that. We might have used AI in like early development stages to kind of like piece looks together and piece maybe certain like thought processes together, but nothing like that pertains to the actual story, the narrative, the actors, the dialogue, the actual the vocals that the actors use in the film. All of that is A-okay according to Amazon. Once again, I might be totally wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, of course. But I believe that is what the lawsuit is saying, and it's iffy. I was hoping that this whole put it on streaming was kind of a ploy to get a little bit of antics up and talk up for the film to be released in theaters later on. I don't think that's the case nowadays. I believe if it is going to release, maybe at all at this point, which I hope it does because it's supposed to be really, really well done. Everybody that's seen it, the test scores are amazing. Jake Gyllenhaal, he got more in shape for this than he did for Southpaw back in the day. Like this is, it's good. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. I haven't seen it. But you want to respect the original creator. So it's kind of all over the place. Amazon lawyers versus actors lawyers. I know whose side I'm putting my money on. The thing is, they're probably the same lawyers. I mean, or the same pool of lawyers that they would go for. Maybe Amazon would have better lawyers for other things. When it goes into like such a film specific thing, maybe those other lawyers might still be tapped on to do something like this and, get a good payday, but not necessarily like they're the typical wheelhouse, but they're very talented lawyers that are good at making the things work that they want to get working. So I wouldn't be surprised if they use kind of like their big honcho kind of lawyers, but maybe they won't because the actors also have really good lawyers, and I think they would be kind of pulling and pooling from the same kind of group. It's interesting. SAG-AFTRA ultimately dropped the ball on AI safeguards, 1,000%. And this is the very first thing that's coming out after that. Like, hey, the strike happened. You were still able to finish this movie. How'd you finish this movie? According to R. Lance Hill. I don't know if it's Ryan. I've just started saying names. R. Lance Hill. So, yeah, it's dicey. It's kind of iffy all over the place. We will be following it because I'm very intrigued, both because I adore Roadhouse, the original film, Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor, Doug Liman as a director, and I thoroughly enjoy Amazon Studios for the most part, and I would love to see them keep growing and getting better. They've put out a couple little things that aren't necessarily great, but for the most part, Amazon and Prime Studios have done phenomenal work with what they've done. I actually think they're probably on par with Paramount and Apple with the amount of quality over quantity. Then you get your Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, and stuff like that. And the general zeitgeist around it kind of changes a little bit, but I don't think that takes away from the fact that 95 to 98% of everything they've worked on is very like character driven. It's very, very, maybe the showrunners were the people that wrote it and really wanted it made. It's very much more so in that Paramount, Apple kind of vein of storytelling than some of these big old like Disney Plus shows or Netflix shows or something like that. Wait, isn't Jay a Man U fan? Yes, he is. Are we sure he isn't saying screw the kids, let them starve to himself? I'm watching the game. It's possible. We all know that's what he's doing. His kids' names are Manchester and United. I mean, I've never heard his kids' names. He probably shouldn't tell us. But anyway, it wouldn't be surprising. We can nickname – there's two, right? So we can nickname one Manchester and one United. We've got options. We got options. Anyway, let me look over here for my next bullet point. Let's pick and choose. We kind of worked our way around the list that I had just for time-wise because I knew we'd only have Jay for about an hour, which we got him almost for an hour and a half. We tend to linger a little bit sometimes. So I kind of want to end on these 2 points. So I'm going to go to IMAX. We should have talked about it while Jay was here, Mr. Sidetrack himself, but we're all sci-fi nerds to the frickin' till the cows come home, whatever I'm trying to say. IMAX, Q4, after Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible and all these other big IMAX films left their theaters, or were just kind of already seen by everybody. In Q4 of 2023, IMAX dropped, I think it was a lot. It was 12% to 86 million. I almost said 84 million. 86 million. And that might sound like plenty of cash, and it is a good amount of cash. But when you make the type of money you make in those first 3 quarters from Oppenheimer and Barbie and Mission Impossible and all these other movies, you kind of want your IMAX to keep going because obviously the film industry is in a little bit of a lull, but IMAX things have kind of brought things up to a degree because those are the things that people still like rush to a theater to see. Killers of the Flower Moon kind of in that era, genre, I guess. Dune 2, though. Excuse me. Excuse me. I just needed to clear my throat for a second there. Felt myself going a little too much, you know? So, will Dune 2 save the day? This comes out literally tomorrow. I'm seeing it tomorrow. I'm so freaking excited. I get to see... I'm going to go see it tomorrow. I'm going to go see it in 4DX on Friday morning. And either Friday afternoon or Saturday, I'm going to go see it in IMAX. So I'm going to really kind of try to hit those things. Dune 2 will perk it up. I think so. Dune 2 is projected for an $80 million opening weekend. What do y'all think about that? Do you think $80 million is a good projection? Do you think that's undervaluing it, overvaluing it? Because that would be the biggest opening weekend we've had since... What would low? I'm kind of with you. I think this is one of those movies that, because we haven't had an opening weekend that big, and has it been since Barbie and Oppenheimer? And plus the rave reviews, of course. Yeah, the freaking supposed to be some of the best films since Lord of the Rings. Like, that's all you have to say. When Zendaya says, I'm kind of disappointed in this movie because I know I will never be in a movie as good as this again, I drop everything I can to go see that movie, and I'm going to go do that again because, oh my god, it's that sentence alone just excites me so much. My dad, I think when I was 5 or 6, showed me David Lynch's Dune, and he read Dune and Dune Messiah when he was a kid, kind of deal, and he loved them, and that was one of those things. He was like, okay, you're gonna watch this, and you might be going to camp over the summer, but 3 weeks, here's The Hobbit and here's Lord of the Rings. Read these things. And I was like, oh, okay. And I am who I am now because of those moments, you know? Plenty more books to adapt. I'm very happy Denise doing Dune Messiah. I'm worried about Children of Dune, God Emperor Dune. I'm not worried about Children of Dune and God Emperor Dune. I'm worried about whoever takes hold of them after Denis and trying to do them to that same degree, same pedigree, I guess. They're just being cautious. The Brian Herbert, the Sons books, plenty more books to adapt. But then that begs the question, do they need to adapt them? Should they adapt them? Are you going to piss off your core fan base so much at that point that they won't even go see the movies anymore? But who knows? I'd like to hit that question whenever we reach there. Once we get God Emperor of Dune, then we ask those questions. But there are plenty more books. I think there was a new Dune book like last year or something. They're milking it. For better and for worse, I think. Spaceman's released on Friday? That's this week? Oh, I didn't realize that. No way. Oh, that's probably one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I adore Adam Sandler as an actual, like, a dramatic actor. And a space spider. If you're not afraid of spiders, if you're an arachnophobe, you might not want to go see Spaceman. But don't worry, I'll go see it about 7 times for you if it's good. So I got you down pat. Don't worry. Dune Messiah was a bit meh. Oh, you're gonna go see it Monday? Cool. Just do God Emperor. Ooh, yeah, but you can't skip Children of Dune. Can't skip Children. I thought about it for a second. I was like, can you? But no, I wouldn't suggest it. But I don't know. That's a good question. Who? I'm gonna start sounding like an owl. Have y'all seen that funny little clip? I know I'm getting off topic real quick, but I'll rattle it back in real quick. I'm just thinking about it because I went, who? Have you seen that little clip? I think it's an employee going to a boss eating lunch, and he goes, "Hey, boss, did you hear that whatever something got possessed by a ghost or something like that?" And he says, something got possessed by an owl. That's it. And he goes, something got possessed by an owl. Who? And you just see the guy's face just, oh, I fell into that trap. And it's so great. It's so funny. We've never had God Emperor. The sci-fi Children of Dune was pretty good. Yeah, I've never seen the sci-fi Children of Dune, but I've always wanted to. I was talking to my dad about that the other day, and I think I'm going to get him to watch it, and I'll probably watch it my own, have phone conversations about that kind of deal, you know? Oh, David, don't tell me that. Oh, Who's someone? Is the someone competent? And define competency. I'm kidding. Don't do that part. But a trustworthy reviewer, I guess. Oh, I do prefer to judge by myself as well. And I tend to be the happy optimist. Y'all know me. I'm going to find something good in something. Unless it's Avatar. I'm kidding. I'm honest one way or another. But I do 90% of the time, I'm going to try to find something optimistic about it. And then there's that 10% of the time where it just hurts. It just hurts. And I'm like, okay, well, nope, that was not it. And this shouldn't be it. And this is one of those things where if we say it's going to be it, then they're going to allow more BS to happen. Jumping back on my soapbox real quick. But plenty of Adam Sandler haters. There are. Which that's one of those things where like, hey, don't yuck on somebody else's yum. He might not be for you, but what he does is very necessary in society in a lot of ways, especially within the film industry. I adore some Adam Sandler. I don't like most of his comedies, honestly, especially the more recent ones. There's the occasional one. I think that what was the one on the cruise with Jennifer Aniston? I did watch that one. I didn't watch the second one. I didn't mind it. Besides that, though, the newer ones are not great. But then you got frickin' Uncut Gems. Then you got the Meyerowitz stories. Then you got Punch Drunk Love. He's so good. He's such a great dramatic actor, and I can't wait. 50 First Dates, that's not one of the newer ones, but I do love me some 50 First Dates. Sean Astin and the fishnet. The first time I saw that, I was like, what is Samwise doing? Like, what? And then Drew Barrymore is just the most endearing person on the planet sometimes. It's a great movie. Unfairly, I agree. Just Go With It. I also enjoyed Just Go With It. I did enjoy Just Go With It a lot. Jennifer Aniston, and that was when Brooklyn Decker was, God, I think I was about 13, 14. I was thinking about Brooklyn Decker a lot back then. It was, oops, I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but hey, it's Brooklyn Decker. What can you say? Battlefront was not the best movie in the world. That was Kate Upton. Excuse me. Never mind. Anyway, next topic. I'm going off on J tangent by myself now. That's not good. But Happy Frickin' Gilmore, Billy Madison, anything like that. Those comedies were fantastic. And I think even probably up until like 2010-ish, when Jack and Jill hit, I think is whenever his comedies started nosediving a bit. And they weren't even like, they made it where it was like silly fun into like silly dumb. Trying too hard to be fun. Yeah, Murder Mystery. There we go. I knew it was something simple. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head. Thank you, David. Thank you. But yeah, just to get back on topic here, Dune 2. If someone is going to follow up after Dune Messiah, after Denis Villeneuve has done his trilogy of Dune films, kind of duology, since Dune 1 and 2 are kind of one film if you put them together, of course. So either duology or trilogy, depending on how you think about it. Happy Gilmore, the comic adaptation of Kevin Costner's Tin Cup. What? I don't know what that is, but I'll have to search it. Anyway, if there's a filmmaker that you think could take over for Children of Dune and or God Emperor of Dune as well, who would that be? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll discuss it. But while that is going on, and y'all are letting me know that, I'm excited about the Academy just separated animation and shorts in their entire, like, how they categorize things, which is good. They're saying, well, the amount of mediums we have is so like huge now, and we have these diverse mediums where you can put something on TV, you can put something on streaming, you can put something on YouTube, you can put something on a movie screen. There's a slew of different things. Oh, Mark, I'm coming back to that. I think that is a little bit of a BS statement, cop out from the Academy, and like, oh, all this stuff is brand spanking new. No. Shorts and animation have been different for a long, long, long time, and keeping them in one category it's not benefiting either one of them, and it's hurting the artful aspects of each. So I'm very happy that they've separated them, and they are their own individual categories, can be voted upon in their own individual categories. I don't think we're going to be seeing them separated per se, and I think they already are in the Oscars, but I think the way the Academy like categorizes films generally we'll have a bit of a change. So that'll be good. Peter, another good one, though. Anyway, so I don't know if any of y'all have seen the Horizon trailer. I wasn't going to bring it up because Jay had not seen it, but since Jay's not here, have y'all seen Kevin Costner's Horizon trailer? speaking of old Kevin Costner himself, Horizon is his 2-part Western Civil War era, I believe. Big, like, it's not an anthology, but it's 2 movies. It's a 4-part. I don't exactly know how he's doing it, because he's doing the 2. He's doing it at the beginning, and he's bookending the summer with Horizon this year. I believe we're getting either May or June, and then August is the next one. So he's got 2 more that he wants to make, and that's depending on how successful this is. So I don't know if it's 2 movies or 1 large movie that's supposed to be almost Lonesome Dove-like in a way. I don't know if this is his Lonesome Dove, but that's kind of the feel I'm getting for it. And I'm a freaking – I love Lonesome Dove. Tommy Lee Jones, what's his name? Robert Duvall. Oh my God, that almost left my head. I was gonna have to beat myself up for that later. Excuse me, I'm coughing today. I'm excited for that. Have y'all seen the Horizon trailer? And are you excited for that? Do you think the 2-part release strategy is a good idea? I like it a lot. But what are your thoughts on it? I'd love to hear. So, just a thought, if Jay's a really huge Stargate fan, his kids will surely be called Jack and Daniel. Ooh! I like that better than Manchester United. It's probably a safer thing not to, like, tell people your children's name online when you're talking online all the time like this. So, it's a good thing he's never said them. But they will now be known as Jack and Daniel in my brain from forevermore. But I do like the idea of, hey, just pay Denis a truckload of money and let him come back for Children of Dune and God Emperor of Dune. And I do like the idea. I just think that's not what he's going to do as a creative individual, because he could have gone back and did Sicario too. They're going to finish that out for a trilogy. And this is the first time he's done not the first time he's done a sequel, because he did do Blade Runner 2049. But it's the first time he's done a sequel for himself. And Blade Runner 2049 is a sequel, yes, but it's also kind of standalone in its own way. Because you don't have to have seen the original Blade Runner. It, of course, helps by a metric shit ton. But I think it's a creative choice on his own. I don't know if that's an option. I'd love for it to be an option. But if it's not, he's an old guy, but I love me some David Lynch, and it would be totally different. It would be totally different. But I think his aptitude for filmmaking might fit Children of Dune and God Emperor of Dune better than the original Dune itself. Definitely Dune Messiah. I don't know if David Lynch would have been the best for a Dune Messiah, but Children of Dune and God Emperor of Dune, I like it. I like it. Anybody else y'all can think of, like off the top of your heads, or doing a little research? Anybody that like stands out directorial wise that could do it? I mean, there's a few, but it's just big filmmakers. Like I'd love to say like a Scorsese's could do it and say, hey, let Scorsese's take his hand to some sci-fi, but that's just not something he would do. And I don't know. No. Okay, I kind of thought Alex Garland for half a second there. Alex Garland may be able to do something, but he's kind of leaning away from sci-fi in a way, with like A24 Civil War that's coming out this year. So I don't know. That's a really interesting thought. I do like David Lynch for that a lot too. I don't know. Think about it. Anybody else have any ideas? Y'all let me know. We'll talk about them. But while we are here, let me finish up. There we go. 2 more things to talk about. Okay. So Berlin's European film market, the EFM, the European film market per se, but comes from Berlin, saw a huge resurgence. Almost every single freaking film was made. Every single film that was there was about $20 to $50 million. Not every single one, but the vast majority. So, okay, we'll get to that in a second, y'all. Anyway, there's a mid-budgeted movie resurgence, which makes me happy, because I keep saying on Sidetrack, I keep saying on Cinema Scoop that the mid-budget movie needs to come back. We don't necessarily need these $200 million bloated budgets, and I keep saying $50 to $80 million, but $20 to $50 million, that's the sweet spot. Like, Foundation was amazing with great actors, but were willing to not be paid a whole bunch, and maybe they're paid back in. Maybe they get some extra cash if it does well, whatever it may be. But hey, actors, take a pay cut. I'm sorry, I know it's expensive out here in LA because, oh my God, it's expensive out here in LA. But Killers of the Flower Moon, $200 million, maybe more, 25 to 30 million of that alone was Leonardo DiCaprio. The entire European film market, $20 to $50 million, has movies with Margot Robbie, Dave Bautista, people like that are $20 to $50 million. They're not charging that. They understand what they're doing, and they understand what the industry needs at the moment. And it doesn't need a bunch of frickin' people that are way overcharging and overpricing themselves out of being in great films. You know, I understand you don't have to do as many films if you get paid $20 million for this one. And you can really cherry pick your next project, sure. But that takes a bit of the art mindset out of it. It turns into, and I'm a business guy. I like business. I'll say it. I grew up in oil country. Like, hey, I'm capitalist till the cows come home. You know, whoop-de-doo. Like, I like making cash. I think most people do. But when you lose the essence of what you're creating, like Avatar, sorry, just the perfect example to come into the brain real quick. It's nonsensical. It doesn't. Script and story first. Script and story first. Script and story first. And that's what should be put first and foremost, not necessarily paying big old fancy actors. Scorsese's paying off his mates. In a way, yeah, because De Niro, I don't know how big De Niro's check was, but it might not summon a Leonardo DiCaprio amount of change. But what, if Leo's costing 20, 30 million, what's De Niro? 10, 12, 15, 18, 20 himself? Like, think about the amount of films you can make for the money that you're just paying one or two actors. And hey, how about you as an actor go promote the hell out of that movie after the fact, take a pay cut, and that way when that movie does really well after you've been promoting the hell out of it, you get more cash in the back end because maybe you, for that pay cut, you said, okay, I don't need this $20 million. Pay me 10, pay me 5, pay me 2. That's more reasonable. Pay him 2 and say, give him 3% of the film, 2% of the film, 1% of the film. 1% of $1 billion, if it makes it, that's a nice chunk of change there. 1% of $500 million, if it makes it. That ain't a shabby chunk of change right there. Just come on. But yeah, sci-fi, you're right. Offer Leo a 25-year-old girlfriend, he'd turn up. 25 might even be old. I think it'd be about 21, maybe 17, 18, 19. Like, shoot. Where are all the low-budget horror movies? Oh, they're everywhere. They're still everywhere. Don't worry. If you're wanting to keep up with them, though, Shudder is the best streaming add-on service to use. I have AMC Plus added on to my Amazon Prime, and with AMC Plus, you get Shudder as well. I think you should. I believe so. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty positive. And that's where I still get a lot of my low-budget horror stuff. And I'll go see them in theaters a lot. I love low-budget horror movies. I think Blumhouse is one of the reasons we're getting this kind of mid-budget movie resurgence, because it started with small. Talk about Sundance. Sundance just had a whole slew of small-budgeted films instead of blockbusters, and it was awesome. So I think The Invisible Man and things like that were $7 million and made like $120 million. That's the model people are kind of aiming towards. I think Barbie might have thrown a little bit of a wrench in that. Oppenheimer might have thrown a little bit of a wrench in that. But then you get Killers of the Flower Moon again right after that, and it didn't make any money, I don't think. I don't think it was made to make money. But you would kind of hope it would make money after Oppenheimer and Barbie did the way they did. But wait, no, that's my exact age range. It's just he's probably 25, 30 years older than me is the only issue there. Isn't that where your film is on? That's where we're going to most likely go to, yeah. And I will give you a little bit. I don't have a whole bunch of updates, but I'll give you the updates I can give you. Chris Nolan is, after all, he's the poor man's Denis. He's not the poor man's Denis. but Denis is I think Denis is more. I don't know more. Every word I wanted to say, I was like, I don't know. That might be iffy. I don't know if he's the poor man's Denis by any means. I think Denis is a phenomenal filmmaker, and I think he is typically pound for pound. Yeah. But then again, pound for pound, I don't think Nolan has a bad movie. Tenet might be some that people would consider a bad movie. I actually like Tenet. It really gets your brain going. Watch it on some acid, but or don't. Either one. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 looks so much better than the first one. Yeah, I still didn't go see that though, because the reason I didn't go see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey when it came out was I have my Regal membership, and when you have your Regal membership, you pay $23 a month, and every movie you're only paying 50 cents on taxes. So it costs 50 cents to see a movie after that. I might spend $30 on movies a month, which is like typically 2 tickets. So when Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey goes in and they're trying to charge me $22, $25 a ticket, which I don't blame them because they're a tiny, independent, small film trying to make a bunch of money back. I'm not going to go see it if I can't use my 50 cents. And I get angry about not being able to use my 50 cents. But I still need to go see it on Shudder or whatever. The first was terrible, but it's supposed to be like terribly fun and like funny, right? What about new Steamboat Mickey horror movie? If they're not going to charge me $22 to go see it, I'll go see it. I'll go see it. Real quick, wasn't there something else? Just the Chris Nolan stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say he's better, but pound for pound, I think Denis Villeneuve has a stronger repertoire under his belt so far. But then again, The Prestige is one of my favorite movies ever, and Christopher Nolan is a genius in a lot of ways for stuff like that. And I know Jay's not a big fan of it, but Interstellar. Oh, I love Interstellar. It's so good. I have a problem with films coming in multiple parts. They're supposed to continue, but unlike Lord of the Rings, they don't film back to back. Yeah, if you're going to do that, I think filming back to back is the way to do that. And I really hope Horizon is successful. I'm going to be screaming from the rooftops if it is to go see it, because I think that's the perfect way to make films. And I think we need to go support films like that utilize that type of confidence, that are like, hey, we're good. We know what we're doing kind of deal. Like literally Kevin Costner I think it was in Utah where it was filmed. He injected $100 million into this small, like little area's economy and like helped an entire small city turn into like a mid-sized city. Super freaking cool. But yeah, less budget, better movie. I agree. I totally agree. That's, I guess, a good summarization of what I have been saying. Summarization. There we go. Words at a certain point of the day, One of my old favorites for the horror movies was The People Under the Stairs from the 90s, I think. I don't know that. I don't know. I'm going to write that down to check it out later. People Under the Stairs. I have too many freaking things to write on, and everything already has like a specific thing that I have written on it. Here we go. Now I need to find a pen. Good thing I have this right here. Sometimes, when you have so much crap all jumbled around you, it's almost just as hard to find things as when it's like there's nothing and it's just lost somewhere, But anyway, what was it again? Oh, literally right here. People Under the Stairs. Oh, new pen. You got to take the top off the pen. People Under the Stairs. There we go. Horror movie. Okay. Whatever happened to Richard Kelly? What was his name? The guy who did Donnie Darko? Ooh, that's a great question. Donnie Darko is one of those films that I saw, I think, when it came out, and it just was... No, maybe not when it came out. I saw it whenever... What year was Donnie Darko? I wasn't alive when it came out. Oh, 2001. I did not see it when it came out. I was 2 years old. I think I saw it when I was I saw it too young. I saw it like 6 or 7 or 8 years old. And it's one of the reasons I think I love movies the way I do. Because I saw it and I wasn't scared of it. It just confused the hell out of me. 2001. And it just makes my brain go. It's perfect sci-fi horror in so many ways. I love it. OG Friday the 13th. Damn right. Explosions can't cover up a terrible script. What do you mean, Michael Bay? I'm kidding. No, I do like most of what Michael Bay scripts are. What about House of Critters? Ooh. But Mark, I'm not sure what happened to Richard Kelly. Well, hell, Richard Kelly. Let's just Google him real quick. We're here. Richard Kelly movies. He did Southland Tales in 2006, The Box in 2009, Domino in 2005. Okay, well, yeah, just bring up his IMDb. Let me see if he's done anything recently. 2009 was the last thing he did. The Box in 2009. S. Darko. What is S. Darko? Donnie Darko's little sister Samantha and her best friend Corey on a cross-country road trip, but soon find themselves entangled in a dangerous glitch in the time-space continuum. It's not even the same cast, is it? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no. Okay, well, he did a sequel to Donnie Darko, and then he did The Box in 2009. I remember Southland Tales. I like Southland Tales generally. I feel like I recognize Domino, but I'm not sure I've ever seen it. But yeah, not much past that. Oops. Sorry, Richard Kelly. He's someone that should come back. Honestly, he's still alive, right? Like, it's not showing that he's died. 48 years. Yeah, he's still kicking. Okay. Let me catch up to some of these chats. OG Friday the 13th. Oh, yeah. Great movie. The People Under the Stairs had Twin Peaks vibes and cast. That's literally all I remember about it. Ooh, I like Twin Peaks, though. Speaking about David Lynch. Carrie! How you doing, Carrie? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Both fantastic films. Good call. Cool. First Resident Evil is one of my faves. I love that first Resident Evil movie. I never played the video game, so I saw that first, and that's what kind of like brought me into Resident Evil. And I like both the games and the first movie, none of the movies after that. But the first one was good. Kerry! Saying howdy, everybody. I know. Oh, dang, yeah. I'm still a youngin'. Monster Squad from 87? No, but I'm going to write it down just because I like monsters and squads are cool. That's going to be my reasoning right there. Not because I trust your taste in TV and film, and I know you well enough to know you're going to lead me to the right direction. Not at all. That's just because I like monsters and squads, of course. Booyah. Everybody saying howdy. Critters, the scene when one attacks someone through the toilet bowl. I feel like I might have seen that like just in a meme or a GIF at some point, but I'm not sure. S. Darko, bad. Avoid at all costs. It had a 3.6 compared to 8.0 on that one. Yeah. Ghoulies. I don't know what that is. Donnie Darko's best film of all time with a sequel that's horrendous. Domino was real good. Domino's good. Cool. Okay. I don't know if Donnie Darko's the best film of all time, but it deserves to be considered that. I adore it. Sorry, this looked pink. It looked like I was getting a sty for a second. Knock on some wood because I do not want a sty. I just saw that and was like, check yourself before you wreck yourself kind of deal, you know? If I ever watch People Under the Stairs, I think it'd be perfect for you with the smoke. Okay, I'm in. Don't have to convince me twice. I'll do it. I still need to. Is it SoCar? SoCar, do you want me to watch? I need to watch Richard Simmons stuff, right? I have that Post-it note right here. I believe, yeah, I think that's SoCar that wants me to watch Richard Simmons. Pretty positive. Donnie Darko did not do good at the box office because it was immediately after 9/11 and the playing. Yep. Yeah, I was a senior in high school and had to wait for the DVD and never played anywhere near Topeka, Kansas in theaters. Oh, really? I guess it probably wouldn't have been the widest of releases either. It was pretty niche. The cast wasn't huge or anything by that point in time either. Now, did that cast go on to do great things? Well, damn right. We even talked about Jake Gyllenhaal a little bit earlier for his new stuff. But yeah, What's that? Ghoulies, the toilet scene. I saw so many horror films I shouldn't have at around 7 years old. Same here. Like AMC literally just having the 31 Nights of Horror, whatever the hell it's called, on their TV network all the time. I'd get home from school and just get home from soccer practice and get home from baseball or whatever the hell and just get home from swimming and just, I love horror films. They're not my favorite genre, but I'm a horror geek too. Like I totally, but it's not like, not pound for pound in the sense that I could keep up with people in sci-fi and fantasy and other circles and just general, like maybe hoity-toity, like fantasy dramatic circles or anything like that. All three of those I might be able to fit in better than a horror one, but I can hold my own in a horror circle any day of the week. I love me some horror movies, and I've never stopped watching them, and I ain't ever going to stop watching them because they're so good. They're so good. The very last thing that we're talking about, and we're right over 2 hours, which this is another big topic alongside kind of that big budget, mid-budget, not big budget, excuse me, movie that we were discussing a little bit ago is in quarter four. We didn't talk about this yet, did we? And I don't think so. In quarter four of this year, wait, no. By quarter three of 2024, Superstition, 1982. Good one. Good one. I'll write it down. But in quarter three of 2024 is the time that it is projected, at least, that pay TV will not be as successful as streaming. And that is completely and strictly due to the ad tier. The ad tier has done to streaming what streaming was desperately in need of, because it was going to die out very soon. Disney and Charter, those companies have a weird deal that's kind of like an almost in between streaming and pay to watch TV, excuse me. And that's kind of a win-win scenario for both. But as these ad tiers are enveloped and utilized from these different streaming services, or hell, pay an extra $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, whatever you're charging. Hopefully it's closer to that 2 or 3 for no ads. We're going to see streaming services actually hit a positive net cash flow, which would be good. Would be good. That means the industry's on a up and up to a degree again. That means people are watching enough. And hopefully that means we'll get better not dynamics. What's the word I'm looking for? Not graphics, but better information, for the lack of the term I'm trying to actually use, from these different shows as they're airing, because now we have information from the advertisings, and we can look up how good an ad does. We can check all that kind of stuff, and the companies are much more likely to share things as well and let us know those. So I'm hoping that will help us a lot. And do what Carrie says. Always do what Carrie says. God Emperor Dune, it's really God Emperor Carrie. Don't you know? Children of Dune, Children of Carrie. Like it's not. Gary, you're now Dune. I didn't mean to do it, but now you are. Thank you. But yeah. So we're in a new age officially from stream. We're actually entering the age of streaming now. About 8-10 years after we started to try to enter an age of streaming, it's the first time it's been successful, and I'm very intrigued and excited to see where it goes, because I think it's going to force the hand of a lot of these companies to be a lot more honest, like Netflix, and just being like, oh, well, we're not going to give you any numbers at all. Just trust us. This is how many people watched. We have to wait months for the Nielsen ratings and for just what the actual like viewership was. I think this will be the perfect kind of like bridge the gap right here. I'm at least fingers crossed, and that's what my optimistic self is thinking for it, So fingers crossed on that. Besides that, I think we're going to call it a day. I'm going to catch up with some of these little chats back here. My sisters were older. My oldest always rented out horror films. That's nice. That's lucky. That's cool. I was the older brother, and I don't know if my little sister ever watched a horror film. I was always like, come watch this. And she's like, this is terrifying. I wasn't going to push her to watch the scary stuff anyway, because most horror movies get pretty gory, and you know. But an older sister showing you that's sick. That's awesome. That's actually a great way to like. It would have been fun to watch that kind of stuff with siblings, Nowadays, maybe. So your favorite should be a sci-fi fantasy horror. Anyone think of any films like that? Ooh, I was almost said Lord of the Rings does fit that to some degree at some points, but not really. My first film memory is just Smeagol becoming Gollum in Return of the King is like the first thing that my brain goes to. Like that is my first film memory. I'm pretty damn sure. That terrified me as a kid. But sci-fi fantasy horror, there's definitely something. I just can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But there's definitely something. Aliens put me off bacon because the eggs hatching. The look of the sides of the eggs reminded me of bacon. That tastes delicious still. I'm saying let's have some alien omelets. You know, why not? Eggs, bacon, grits, aliens. You know, something like that. Just about to start 7-day trial for Shudder and Prime. Cool. Did you check me? Did AMC do that or not? Because it's kind of a double whammy if you're able to do that. But cheers, yes. Alien! I was trying to eat a frozen Snickers the first time I watched the film alive. It was at the same point they were eating the frozen butt cheeks. I couldn't eat Snickers after that. It put me off. Did that put you off of Snickers more so than Caddyshack? Because I didn't want to eat a chocolate bar after I watched Caddyshack the first time for a little bit. Ayo! Once again, God Emperor Carrie has spoken. She's spoken. Do as Carrie asks. Please? Because, yeah, you don't have to do as I say. But if Carrie says it, yes, I'll ask please. But she's in charge. She's in charge around these parts. Event Horizon, perfect. Yeah, Alien 2. Alien literally perfectly fits that. Duh. Just not at the top of my head. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to end it with that one. Play them on a different tab or while you sleep. Damn right. So, Mark might have asked the most important question of the day. Don't you think this popcorn bucket right here needs a nice little extra something? It needs a friend. The popcorn bucket needs a friend. And the Dune 2 popcorn bucket shall be its friend. It shall be. It shall be. I'm offended, Sokar. I don't know why I should be offended or why I am offended, but what? My friend? What? Just drop everything and go watch Caddyshack and bring a joint along. But Caddyshack's such a great movie. It's still, I've shown, I think, Caddyshack. I watch it 2 or 3 times a year because I always hear people that are like, oh, I never saw Caddyshack, and people love it. I'm like, we have nothing going on right now. We were going to hang out or go do something. We're watching Caddyshack. And I'll show it to people once or twice, 3 times a year sometimes. I love that movie. It still stands up today. Still just as, maybe not just as funny, but it's pretty, actually, it's almost more funny now than when it was. It's so good. So good. Carrie! Miss God Emperor Carrie. Check it out. It's so funny. Jason Caddyshack. But yeah, y'all really got to see it. Y'all really got to do it. It's that good. It's that good. Once again, like the Donnie Darko sequel, comedy, not horror, fantasy, sci-fi, or whatever. But don't watch the sequel. Just watch the OG Caddyshack. Perfect cast, perfect everybody. Funny. I mean, it's Chevy Chase at his best. It's Bill Murray at his best. It's Bill Murray in the weirdest way ever too, which is great. And the Gopher is Jay. It's so good. Rodney Dangerfield. It's like how Rodney Dangerfield like really got into the zeitgeist of just general culture, I guess. So good. There's way too much to keep up with at the moment. It's hard to keep up. I agree. Which is why it's nice to sometimes say, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to watch something old, lay back, and watch some Caddyshack. Which you should totally do because it's so good. It's legit so good. You someone is going to shag that Dune, but I'm not. but someone's going to. I wouldn't be. I would be more surprised if someone already hadn't than if they had. Yeah, y'all, come on, hit that like, all that good stuff. Jason, Raiders of the Last Ark, all the Gophers. The Gophers. Groundhog Day is not a gopher. I guess that is Punk Swanee is a groundhog. No, I was like, what animal is he? Groundhog. The gopher though, in Caddyshack. I'm Caddyshack that I can't even say the word Caddyshack. The gopher in Caddyshack outdoes any other little puppeteered creature almost ever. I love it. Oh, Sokar. Oh. The bald-butted bear. The bald-headed bear. The bear. I fucking love that movie so much. That I would literally watch that movie probably 4 or 5 times a year growing up. It was my sister's and I favorite movie. And if you even mention it while both of us are in a room together, we're gonna start cry laughing together. Just it's so good. I love Dan Aykroyd and John Candy in that movie. The secondary and ancillary cast. I mean, Annette Bening's in the frickin' movie. Like, it's got such a great cast and it's so well done. It's so fun. I love Great Outdoors. I don't know if it's my favorite comedy of all time, but it very well may be. And Planes, Trains, and Automobiles too. Oh my God. Yeah. A reward and thank you. National Lampoons. Anything that came from that kind of, well, I mean, Vacation, sure, but National Lampoons, anything they've done is just typically freaking great. Animal House is great. I don't know if y'all seen one of their newer films. Have y'all seen A Futile and Stupid Gesture? Christmas Vacation is great as well. Futile Stupid Gesture is about how National Lampoon started. It's like the comedic telling of how it started, and it stars Will Forte and Domhnall Gleeson from Star Wars and Peter Rabbit and literally everything else in between. It's not the best movie ever, but it makes you cry at the end, and it's funny as hell throughout, and it actually tells you the story of how National Lampoon started. So when you watch National Lampoon's movies after that, it's a nice mindset to be in. You're like, oh, that's because this, this happened because of this. Oh, I kind of remember how that worked. I love it a lot. Loaded Weapon, LOL. What happened to those sorts of movies? Not woke stuff. It was the PC stuff before that, honestly. I think it was just the not the dumbing down of things, but I think it's like we've talked about before. You try to make a movie for everybody, and you're making a movie for nobody. You have to make a movie. The person that's making the movie has to make a movie, I think, for themselves or for the exact audience that they want to make it for, and they need to have that in mind beforehand. Because comedy is not just blanket. There's clean comedy, sure, and clean comedy is not even just blanket. There's like Studio C, like the Mormons do their little thing, which actually they got some funny stuff. But then there's also like Jeff Dunham is clean comedy, and he kind of isn't necessarily always super clean. Gabriel Iglesias, fluffy. He is also clean comedy, but he does have some darker bits and some more adult bits. And then there's stuff like Kill Tony and Ron White and Dave Chappelle, anybody like that. And here's like, oh, that ain't clean comedy, but damn, it's funny. You gotta know your audience, and your audience is never going to be everybody. If it is, you got an issue, or your Avatar and you're James Cameron, and you're James Cameron. those are your options. When Jay stays up at yours, make sure you put up a hammock just to see his reaction. The funny thing is, I have 3 hammocks in my backyard. Technically, only 1 hammock. I have 1 hammock. I have a hammock chair that was gifted to me. Both of those were gifted to me. And then my old roommate left his Eno, and I have his Eno still, which is like more like a synthetic material kind of hammock. Ricky Gervais is great. I love Ricky Gervais. Blues Brothers is amazing. Totally agree. Hey, you make it for everybody. You make it for nobody. You make it for the audience you want. You might get a little bit of everybody kind of like, oh, I actually kind of like a little bit of this. And it might surprise them. But you have to make it for either yourself or for your audience. Rick Rubin, I don't know if y'all are familiar with him. He's a music producer. Big hippie looking dude, not a hippie looking dude per se, but he's got long hair, big old beard. Always wears big old thick glasses too. Excuse me. His philosophy on making art is make films great again. Not necessarily. I don't think they ever lost the quality. I think just the amount of quantity over quality has just kind of polarized us in recent years. And rightfully so. And we need to get back to that small budget, mid-sized movie renaissance. We're getting there again, slowly but surely. I'm excited for all that. What was I forgot where I started. But Avatar was a Fern Gully ripoff. Yeah, I love me some Fern Gully too. But I love Avatar. All the above. Revenge of the Nerds, and no forgetting Animal House. That's for damn sure. Star Wars 9 tried to make everyone happy, and it failed miserably. 12th best Star Wars movie. Yep, totally. I agree. Totally agree. I actually would. I don't mind The Last Jedi in a lot of ways. It sucks as an actual like part of the main trilogies per se. If it was its own standalone Star Wars movie and didn't have the Skywalkers' names on board, I think I would love The Last Jedi because I like Rian Johnson's filmmaking. But fitting in within the Skywalker narrative, hell nah. And then what was it called? Rise of Skywalker. I couldn't even think about it for a second. It was worse. And it was because it tried to make everyone happy and failed miserably. Like literally, word for word. Hurts me. But more independents making movies. Yep, I love that. That's good. I think AI is the great equalizer in that sense, where now a lot of people are going to have. I don't think AI should be utilized in the actual process of filmmaking per se a lot. But when it's coming up with stories, when it's storyboarding, when it's world building and things like that, I think AI is going to help a lot of smaller filmmakers and people that are just interested in making films or possibly becoming filmmakers. I think it gives them much more an opportunity, and it allows them to flesh out their ideas in a way that they've never been able to. And you'd always have to have a giant studio backing to pay for artists, to pay for all these different things. And now you can do just about anything. It's kind of amazing in a lot of ways, terrifying in a lot of ways, but amazing in a lot of ways as well. Peter Jackson's Meet the Fables and Brain Dead are two great films. Damn right. I've never seen Brain Dead. I've always wanted to though. Okay. It totally was. That's what I thought was when I first saw it. It's Fern Gully in 3D, big whoop. But Fern Gully was better. I think Avatar is better. I do love Fern Gully, but Avatar adds more to an overarching narrative, I guess. But Fern, as an individual film, I would probably say Fern Gully's better. I agree with you there in that sense. Yeah. Last Jedi, phenomenal movie in its own right. And it's a phenomenal movie, and it's a shite movie. All at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once, But yeah. Adam Driver wasn't supposed to have a redemption. Rise of Palpatine, yep. Adam Driver wasn't supposed to have a redemption. Yeah, I don't mind the redemption. Everything with Adam Driver that happened in that trilogy, I think is the best stuff. Just because they actually cared about that character, it felt like, compared to the others when they just didn't know what they needed to do with Finn, Poe, or Rey. Kylo had a succinct thought process, which was nice. I liked it. Didn't love it. And the things that they took out of Rise of Skywalker, I think Rise of Skywalker actually could have been really cool, even with the BS that was Force Awakens and Last Jedi to lead up to it, just narrative standpoint. They took out the coolest stuff and just made it so cookie cutter. So cookie cutter. Anyway, okay, I've already seen some of these. I'm looking forward to the new Planet of the Apes films. Yes, I agree with you, Sokar. Totally agree with you. I really like the girl that plays Siri in Witcher. Freya Allen, that's her name. She's a great actress. I'm still worried for what the hell the Witcher's going to do, and that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. But full AI movie within 3 years. Full AI movie within the end of the year. Within probably last year already. I'm pretty sure people are already making kind of full AI movies. Now, quality full AI movie, probably within 3 years. But that quality is also probably dependent on somebody that's seen. I don't know. Because AI is obviously, it takes things that have been plugged into it and makes something new off of that. So it would depend on what AI is being trained on, kind of deal. Will that feel like a good movie from like a filmmaking perspective? Because filmmakers love movies and, borrow and do things. They sometimes steal and emulate, but really borrowing is a constant in Hollywood. So I don't know. That's an interesting thought. Who did Black Sheep? I'm not sure. Why does that sound familiar? Black Sheep movie. Let me just Google that real quick. I can't spell. Sheep movie. Apparently I still can't spell. Chris Farley. Oh! Gary Busey. Have I seen this? I don't know if I've seen this. I love the cast. I mean, the cast is great. Little David Spade, a little Tommy Boy is in a double feature. Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. I love Tommy Boy. I'm gonna have to watch Black. I can't even speak right now. I'm gonna have to watch Black Sheep. I like that. I like that a lot. Wow. Okay. With all the messaging in Hollywood these days, independents could overshadow major companies in the years to come. Yeah. I hope so. I really hope so. Just heard the Critical Drinker's making a movie based on his books he wrote. Then you have the Daily Wire making movies. There's no way he's going to be. No! I mean, yes! But I wanted to adapt Will Jordan's The Critical Drinker's Ryan Drake novels. Hold up. Let me give you just a quick little thing real quick. Yeah. I don't watch every single Critical Drinker. I only pick and choose. I don't like the live shows most of the time. I like whenever he gets really intellectual about films. That's when I appreciate what he does the most. Major companies are alienating the good writers and creators, so good luck to them. Yep. We almost finally watched Everything Everywhere All at Once last night. Saw it was on Paramount Plus, but ended up doing Twin Peaks and Discovery instead. Everything Everywhere is totally worth the watch. You're a sci-fi fan? I think you'd like it. I think I saw it 6 times in the movie theater. I loved it. But yeah, major companies are alienating like them. Perfect example right now is freaking Madam Web, Sheep eating people? Oh, God. Too young? Yeah, if the West won't do it, the Asian market will. That's true, too. Wasn't Meryl Streep, Black Sheep Australian? Posiblemente, huh? I don't know. But 1 second, I'm going to do the MCubed intro. Actually, what's the longest one? Let me leave you with a 15-second. Oh, I'm going to just do a quick 30-second countdown, see how many books I can grab. I'm dropping things on the way down. All right. We've got a lot of books. It was very hard to not drop these books on the way there. So, we've got a lot of Will Jordan, a.k.a. Critical Drinker books. This is all his Ryan Drake Spy series. Ooh! Hey! Honestly, I want to make some SCP Foundation stuff, too. I love that SCP stuff. I'm sure Black Sheep was Australian or perhaps New Zealand. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, this is all of his series for Ryan Drake, his spy series, and they're great. They're great. I think if done well and given the right budget, they could do a whole Mission Impossible kind of, maybe not James Bond, but like a Mission Impossible level kind of franchise. It starts with Redemption and ends with Dark Harvest. You can see where it starts like that and ends all fancy over here. Hey, don't claw at my chair. My cat's clawing at my chair. Yeah. Now I got to put these back up the very top of the stairs, which is a very steep set of stairs. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm very intrigued to see if that's going to get made into a film. I would love to see Redemption get made into a film because it's a good book. I haven't read all of these yet. I think I stopped. As it was book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think I stopped on 7, which is Shadow Conflict, and I need to pick it up. I think I started reading other things. I started reading His Dark Materials stuff because the His Dark Materials show was ending, and I was excited to go read some of the prequels from Bill Pullman. So I did that. Need to finish this up because I have the rest of them. You know, well, why don't they make an ED-209 face tracking camera? I'd buy that for $1. What? What's an ED-209? Read the Vorksogian saga of the thousands of sci-fi books I've already that I've read. They're the best. Really. Just FYI, I have no idea what Critical Drinkers books are about, but it's great that they're independent movie makers coming up because that's the way Hollywood's going. We're gonna need them 1,000%. I think Chris Stuckman, who is kind of not a film pundit, he's an actual, I guess, film critic for YouTube. He has a film called Shelby Oaks that he made that's coming out this year, and that's the way we need it. You know, if more people that are able to fund their movies by themselves are able to start doing it, we'll get a redemption. That worked in a couple different ways. We'll get a redemption for Hollywood, and hopefully we'll get a redemption for old Will Jordan, aka the Critical Drinker, because cool dude. Don't necessarily agree with him 100% of the time. Don't necessarily agree with him 70% of the time. But when I do, I'm like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. And I can always see kind of where he's coming from to a degree a little bit everywhere. He's one of those people that I like. I try to watch people from a lot of different places, a lot of different perspectives. And he's one of those perspectives that I do respect a lot. Because he has people on that I don't necessarily respect a lot of their opinions because they're just kind of like, you know. But he can articulate what he actually thinks and gives good reasoning for it and all that. And I appreciate that. If you can articulate good reasoning behind something, you're good in my book, you know? But we're over 2.5 hours. Oh, RoboCop, duh. Oh. I saw a rat flying around. It's one of those toy rats. My cat's getting anxious over here. I guess I got to go do some cat medicine and some stuff like that for her. Big old butt gash on her right now. Kind of nasty, but hey. We'll figure it out. She's getting better, slowly but surely. Actually, way faster than I thought she would. But anyway, that's enough about a cat. Thank y'all for hanging out with me for this long. It's been a long one. It's been a fun one, though. We got Sarah to come in, which was so cool. I love putting faces to names like we did with Nate last week. We got Sarah this week. Y'all my people. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, y'all are good people. And I love getting to actually have conversations with y'all, you know. And we'll be back Sunday for more conversations on Sidetrack. We'll be back here next week for more conversations, both on Monday and Wednesday, for your regularly scheduled comic adaptations weekly and for your Cinema Scoop. So we'll see you then. And in the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff, of course. Ooh, let me scroll up here real quick. Because, like I said, you have to listen to Carrie. And Carrie says to like, subscribe, share, and do everything that she says right here. Much love, and go see Bob Marley, One Love in theaters, and go all One Love, you know? One love, much love. See y'all.